What's up, my beautiful gemstones? Welcome to Friday night's live intuitive oracle with myself and Ghostdragonzw. Sorry, we are a few minutes late tonight, but that is the reason I always put 7:15 p.m. Eastern time in the description, because you never know what's going to happen if I try to start at 7 o'clock. We've been having a really good run of it for like the past year. But tonight, there's now, I think I was saying it last week, there's like the 3 different sinkholes. They've still have made pretty much no progress on these sinkholes. I was joking last week, like, oh, we're going to have to call in the National Guard or the Army. It somehow doesn't seem like a joke now. So my husband got stuck in traffic for like an hour trying to make it 40 minutes. So I'm a wee bit frustrated. But as I usually do, as we move forward in the night, I'll be able to talk to you guys about a few of the things that have been on my mind, a few changes possibly to come, things going on with me, and we can have some fun and do what we do. Let's just get it in. We have blue crossroads, a little late getting in, small issue. All right. Bat Mom wants to know blue crossroads. Does she need to kick someone's butt? Mark Halstead, welcome. Bat Mom, I always say that too. I always say, like, I'm a really nice person, but if you mess with my friends or family, I'm a pit bull for sure. Salvador, hi, what's up? I do have to share this out. I've been like kind of running like a maniac. I love the thumb holes, but it's just too hot in here right now. I'm very aggravated, but I've been running like a maniac behind the scenes, trying to get everything done and ready to go on time. Guys, just so you know, I'm going to be trying out a few new things. We'll see what works. We'll see what doesn't. If you have any major opinions on issues with, hey, Starlight Journey, anything that I'm going to be talking about changing, or as we go forward with the changes, you're like, oh, Gems, I really don't like this. Feel free to let me know. All right. The first thing I'm tackling are the pre-recorded videos on Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I've been doing a video a week for, about 4 years now. And the past 2.5 years, it's been basically every week. I do the best I can, guys, but you have to understand that those videos, and I've been saying it for 2 years, they take me 20 to 25 hours between the researching, the scripting, coming up with the idea in the first place takes forever. Putting the video together, filming the video, editing the video, uploading the video, like all of those things, making the thumbnail, uploading it, like all those things that go into that video to get 45, 50 views, I just can't justify it anymore. And it sucks because that's one of my favorite things about my channel is that video. But it seems like not enough people are into it. I'm not going to stop them altogether because I really love doing them. So it's going to be once or twice a month, and it's going to be a members only thing. Just for a little while. I have to configure some other things, figure out some other things I can do. Last week from this stream, I made $12, and that's my money for the week, right? And it's not on you guys. The only likes that come when I look at the end of the stream, I'll see 125 views. The only likes are the people that have been in here. So this is mainly aimed towards the people who are listening, but to everybody, just so you guys know where my head's at. I'm not mad with anyone. I'm not, blaming anyone. I just feel like I have to try to add some new things, maybe spice up the content a little bit, and, just try to figure out how to do it just a little bit better. I'm almost at 6,000 subscribers, and, social media kind of trains us to think that that's not a lot. But think about 6,000 people. That's a lot of people to be supporting what you do, even if it's just being subscribed to add that element to what it is I'm trying to obtain. So I've been really down on myself lately, hard on myself. This is not bringing me in any income. So I've got to figure that out. So if you see changes on the channel, like, oh, we didn't see this week, or this is different this week, there's going to be a lot of things that I'm trying, going to see how they go, see how they work out, because this was meant to be a full-time business for me. I didn't expect to get rich or famous, but I did expect to be able to make more than $120 a month. So I've got to try some new things. I hate change, and I like, doing things the way I do them and how I do them and when I do them, but it's just not working. So that is why I branched out as well on other social media platforms. I don't want to bog you all down with it all at once here in the beginning, because we're going to have a great stream. My mom is in the house. Hey, Mama. Bad Mom, I try. I really do. I try to do as many interviews as I can. I actually have a really big one coming up. The problem is a lot of, and I hate saying this, but you can ask people behind the scenes. If you don't ask them publicly, they'll probably explain to you. A lot of the females involved in the behind the scenes of YouTube, particularly in this community, they're not girls. And if you're not part of their clique, I went on a show with a friend of mine, and he surprised me with having another female guest on at the same time. She sang my praises, told me how amazing I was. She wanted to collab with me, have me on her very big YouTube channel. It was going to be great. I emailed her back. I never heard from her again. And the very next day, she was doing live tarot on her channel. That's the type of crap that I'm going up against. I have to make a living. If I don't start pulling in more money, I'm going to have to take the entire summer off again, which last year, I lost thousands upon thousands of view hours. I lost thousands probably of subscribers. I was bringing in almost 300 to 400 subscribers a month as of last June. I had to stop for the entire summer because I had no one to watch my son, and I couldn't pay for any kind of care for him because it is pretty expensive. Despite working 70, 80, sometimes 90 hours a week. And now, ever since I've been back, I'm getting between 150 and 200 subscribers. I still have not rebuilt that momentum up. So if I've got to do that again, guys, it's a lot. Yes. Yeah, her. But she's not the only one. I had people a few years ago go out of their way. 2 females I thought I was friends with go out of their way to film live tarot on my birthday at the exact same time my stream was. Even though my stream was at the same time it always was, on the same night of the week, they just did it because they thought it would be funny. So I do try to say to myself, and I do try to network. I'm doing a lot more shorts, a lot more TikTok content, branching out among platforms or throughout platforms. I will find it. But until then, I really do need people to order things. I need people to pay for the readings. I need people to donate more than just the $2 when at all possible. I don't expect it every week. I know it's rough. Believe me. 3-4 years ago, I was pulling in $400, $500, $600 a month of donations. I don't know what happened. I know the economy is bad, but is it really that bad that I'm making $120 now and 70 of it comes from YouTube? That's rough. And when I look at myself in the mirror and I look at the hard work I put in, I have almost 4,000 videos on this channel, including shorts, but almost 4,000 videos. And I never miss this stream. I'm always there. I do most of what I do off camera for free for people, even though I say I'm not going to. I end up doing it anyway. To lose that much, I'm really troubled by a lot of what's going on. But again, I'm going to move forward from this now, and we'll talk more about it later when there are more people in here. But anything you guys can do to help, I do appreciate it. Other than that, let's say hi to everyone I missed. Starlight Journey, I think I said hello to you already, but I think you've been in here before, even though you seem like you might be a new name, or maybe just a name I haven't seen in a while. Roger Blair, hello. Dunkin' Donuts didn't bring me a straw, so I'm using one of these little plastic ones. Yeah, Bat Mom, I was going to get to that. We had a few more people, but thank you for reminding me. So one last thing on a lower vibrational note before we pull it together for the night and have a great time. I believe it was last Saturday. I could be wrong. Last weekend at some point, I got a message from Miss Pixie. Her mother did pass away. So if you didn't already know that, you aren't already praying for her and sending her love and light, please do so. She just lost her father. She's going through so much, and being fortunate enough to not only have both my parents, have my mom in here, my dad, as insane as he is alive and well for the most part, physically at least. I can't imagine it. So I really just want to send her as much positivity as possible. Skyly. Okay, guys. So here, before I bring in Ghost Dragons, Jim's Camera at Dawn, welcome. Netter, welcome. Skyly was in my comments last week, and every once in a while there's someone that comes along in my comments that is just so sweet and genuinely nice and kind with like no malice. But it's, you guys are always like that, but like for a new person to come in, I was like, I got to check this person out, and I did. And I know, Skyly, you have your own channel. We're going to talk about that. But welcome to the stream. Hang out with us for as long as you want to. We go 2, 3, sometimes 4 hours, depending on how many people need readings. And this is a really good place to be. There's a lot of support here. There's a lot of light workers and a lot of really amazing people in here. So I'm glad that you joined us. Do I want to hear a Gemma Jade joke? Did you just hear my 15-minute intro of me saying how sad I've been? Let me bring in the man of the hour, and then we'll just jump right in here. So the way that the readings work is they are, most of you know this, some of you may not, because some of you haven't been here in a while or you're new. They're first come, first serve. Members are free. Anyone who isn't a member pays $2 to PayPal or Cash App. If you can't do PayPal or Cash App, you got to do the $4 to Super Chat or Super Sticker, because YouTube takes half. Otherwise, if you can't, pay for a reading, if you don't want to, you are way more than welcome to just hang out. People listen after the live stream more than they listen in the live stream. I'll end up with like 200 views on this and only 20 to 30 people coming in. And that's because you will feel the messages and receive the messages you were meant to receive, even if I don't call your name before the stuff is said. So you might be sitting here thinking, wow, that really resonates with me. I feel like that message could have been just for me. It was. If you were in here to receive it, it was. Take it. Don't think it's someone else's. A lot of us are going through a lot of the same stuff and could use a lot of the same advice. So let's bring them in. Hello, hello.
Hello. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? Yes, thank you, Jim, for doing that. You beat me to it.
Yeah, I do appreciate it. Jarvis. All right. So
you are.
Mom's going to go in order instead of letting us know when she wants to go, because it got so confusing last week. All right. Who's first?
Blue.
All right, Blue, I'm going to use energy and spirit. Mom, when you said hello, Blue, my friend, in my head I heard, hello, darkness, my old friend. It could just tell you what kind of mood I'm in right now. I never leave this stream not feeling better, though. Not once has it ever happened. Skyly, bring them along. We love having new people in here. And trust me, if you come in and you're able to hang out and you're not like feeling strange, some people are like, oh, this is too much for me. Or they say I talk too much, or I get too personal, like whatever. They're just not meant to be here. You know what I mean? I feel like everybody who's meant to be here is here. Everyone who's meant to be here is here. The messages are going to get to the person one way or the other. I tell everybody, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, that one day I'd like to get to a point with views and ad revenue on YouTube and on social media where I don't have to charge. I only started charging for this recently, the $2, and that's just because I had to bring something in. I hate it. I feel like I have messages to give people. I should give them, but then on the other hand, I also have to eat. So Blue, you got letting go of urgency, card number 19 in the reverse shadow position, surrender and freedom from time constraints. Just hang out, relax. More people will definitely be trickling in as the night wears on. Blue, this card reverse signals a period of newfound freedom for you. The obligations in your life are lightening up and you have more time to relax and care for yourself. This may be an organic experience with tasks at home or work being relieved in a natural way. Or it could be that you finally started to set boundaries and delegate some of your responsibilities elsewhere. Use this increased free time for yourself. Meditate, study, socialize with friends, or just relax. It may seem foreign to you, but it's time to put yourself first and have some fun for a change. Yeah, I feel like, hi, Joshua. I feel as though, I don't think that you're one of these people. Oh, Skyly, you're so sweet. Thank you. Same, actually. When I went and looked at your photo, I was like, oh, I love her. We're going to be besties. Blue, I feel like you're not one of these people that feels like you don't have any fun, right? You do have fun. You just have fun, I think. And this is one of the things I love most about you in like a different way than most people. You know, like for me, sometimes it is fun to watch my dirty clothes get clean, or like to hear the crackling of the vacuum when the floor is really dirty. I don't know. Those things for me, I read for fun, right? I feel like though this is you actually getting out in the next couple of weeks and possibly trying something new. I don't think it's anything major. I just feel like it's a part of this kind of new you, this branching out and daring to try. Oh, hey, Joshua. Okay, so Joshua and Skyly are together. Oh my God, you even brought people in. That's so cool. Branching out and understanding that like right now you're in a place and it's so beautiful where you don't owe anyone any explanations. You don't, you know, as long as you're keeping your promises and keeping your word and being responsible, which I don't think you could be irresponsible if you tried. You are allowed to get out there and meet new people and have fun. I know for me being 42, sometimes I'm like, I'm too old to make new friends. Like I am too old to make friends. Obviously that's not the case, right? And in real life, it's kind of the same thing. You just have to see who you vibe with, right? Vibing with people or vibing with someone, that's a real thing. It's when you're vibrating at the same level, you're vibing. And if you're not, you know, you're irritating someone's demons or someone just can't handle your energy. But this is you. I do think in the next couple of weeks, you're going to meet either a coworker, an acquaintance. Hey, Miss Grey Wolf, sent you your personal today. Or someone who becomes a part of your life long term. I don't see it being like directly like, you know, like a roommate attached energy situation, but just like a new friend, someone you're like, wow, you know, I'm glad I met this person. So that kind of energy is in the air. This person is going to be important to the path that you're charting right now as you go along. I should say as you go along the path that you've already charted, because you're right on point for all those things. Boom, 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 boom. This person's going to be important to that. So be more mindful of people, maybe inviting you places or reaching out in conversation, like maybe a coworker that you're like, why, you know, why is this person talking to me all of a sudden? Not that it bothers you, but that like, you're like, this is, you know, weird. No, it's not. This person's actually meant to be there. You know, it's just a good relationship, kind of making up for some of the ones that you've lost. Sandy, what is up, girl? Take chances, take risks, not to your detriment. Get out there, have some fun. If something sounds like it's going to be fun, get out there and do it in the next couple of weeks for sure. There's really, really good energy around you, Blue, for meeting new people and good people, people who add value to your life. Members? So guys, if you guys paid, if you're not a member and you paid to my PayPal or Cash App, put a $ or let us know somehow in the chat. At the end of the night, I do read for anyone who did not, cannot, doesn't want to pay at the end when everyone else is done. So that's another way that you can get a reading. But if you did pay and you're not a member, because members are fine, obviously my own mother is fine. But other than that, just put the little $ or somehow let us know, and then we'll add you into the list and we don't have to put you towards the end. Sandy, I wanted to reach out to you and let you know the day after I reached out to you about Miss Pixie and you working together, because I could not fit it in with your schedule, my schedule. I just couldn't do it. Not to mention some personal things I've got going on. Her mom passed away. So she did ask me to tell you she has your number, your info. Please hang on, be a little bit more patient, or not more patient because you've been very patient, but patient for a little bit more, a little bit longer, and she will definitely be reaching out. Mom, you pay me enough. You take me to eat, you buy me clothes, you buy me dinner, you buy things, like, you're fine, Mom. I think you're good. You gave birth to me, you know, all that kind of stuff.
No, Mom, we charge you double.
Mom, you got to pay
Hugs and
triple.
kisses. We charge you double and triple in hugs and kisses, so you better be ready to pay up.
$6 for parents up in here. And kids, too. I'm coming for Ashley.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
No. Who's next?
Mark.
All right, Sir Halstead. I'm glad to see you up and about. I hope you're feeling well. Sandy, you've been an absolute saint. Skyly, thank you. I think my mom would agree. She won't admit it out loud, but I'm her youngest, and therefore I do believe I was very baby growing up, and I am the baby. But my sisters are kind of okay with that because they'll also refer to me as the baby who gets away with everything. So I'm very happy to have met you. Skyly, Sandy, you're another new person in my life that I'm just very happy to have met and kind of pulled into my circle here to consider a friend. Mark, I'm using angels and ancestors, and everyone, just so you know, so you remember, because someone got mad with me last week, I'm channeling spirit. I'm reading from decks. I'm talking. I don't always see what you say in the chat. I am never ignoring anyone. If you have something you really need me to see, just keep saying it. Oh, thanks, Mama. Someone messaged me today, and I didn't even know who it was. I guess I hadn't saved the number, and they're like, "Hi, I haven't heard from you in a while. I hope you're good. Where do you get your wigs?" I'm like, I'm going to take a chance on this. I'm like, Temu? The person's like, oh my God, really? I'm like, yeah, girl, Temu. So I don't know who it was, but they were very nice. They're like, can you send me links? I was like, this is so cool. Mark, you got the elder. Move beyond ancestral patterns. Move beyond the limitations that have been set for you by family members past and present. Know that the energy of your spirit is more powerful than genetics and behavioral patterns. The Aboriginal people are the oldest tribal people still living on the planet. The hunter-gatherer culture and ancient spirituality are rooted in tradition and balance with the earth. So the Aboriginal ancestors are offering you not only wisdom that will help you heal and adapt to the ever-changing planet, but also an understanding of what a spiritual life could be. Thank you, Miss Grey Wolf. I got you. Your personal reading for April, I finally got it done before the month, before April. It's in your Facebook Messenger. The elder is the ancestor who comes with a message of healing change. He is an embodied soul, yet he has had journeys that go beyond the physical. Therefore, he represents a reclamation of power. Mark, when he appears, it's an acknowledgement that you have the capacity to move beyond the limitations that have been placed upon you. If you have had expectations of success, failure, sadness, or even sickness placed upon you by your family, it's important to know that you are here to create your own story. This card represents personal healing that will bring healing to your family lineage, past, present, and future. Know that you get to decide what you take on, and also know that your ancestors are rooting for you and are sorry for any setbacks they have created for you. Mom Skyly says she thinks you made an excellent daughter. Got to agree with her. Skyly, you're so sweet. Thank you. I'm blushing, but I love it. I could really use it today. This is my favorite time of the week. It always brings me out of whatever I'm in my head. Mark, the one thing specifically I got a little bit off card when I was kind of feeling the energy out of this card and seeing what your team was saying to me, it's like, you don't have to go by a set of anyone else's rules. I feel like there's some area of your life, and more than likely it's spiritual. It's some aspect of the spiritual work that you're doing. And I know that you're doing a lot, or at least you do as much as you can with your physical, maybe conditions or limitations. I feel like you're questioning something. You're questioning something someone's teaching or something someone has said to you, or maybe even something that you thought you knew in the past. There are so many things now that I look back on and I'm like, oh, why did I say that? I said that wrong. Or, oh, I meant to say this, but now that it's out there, right? So, I feel like it's something like that. Like in the next couple of weeks, there's going to be this kind of state of confusion about something that you were very confident in your knowledge of. I don't feel like that's going to change. I feel like you just need a deeper and further explanation of whatever this is. So what I want to caution you is don't give up or think someone is maybe a fraud or think that someone purposefully misled you. I feel like there's a miscommunication where you maybe didn't like receive the information the right way. I don't know. There's some conflict here with somebody who you respect and trust in the community. Mom, you are not paying me. If that's what you're talking about, you're not paying me. I'm serious though. I'll take the $2 out of the phone bill. Like, you're good. Mark, another thing that I'm seeing too is not all of y'all believe this, and we talk about that every week. It's okay for you to believe different things than me. You have your own lived experiences, and I would never tell anyone their beliefs are wrong. And even if I thought they were or knew they were, I would never come at anyone like that. Mark, I do feel like what this is saying is, with time, as I see it, everything happens at once. Right? So past, present, future lives, it's all going on at the same time, just in different realities and different dimensions. I feel as though you should focus in the next couple of weeks on that astral travel to whatever the lifetime is, past, present, or future, that has caused a lot of your physical sickness that you're dealing with now. It doesn't mean it'll go away, but it'll be a way for your soul to reconcile with it, spiritually understand it, and no matter what happens physically with you, be able to move on from it so you can live a very healthy next incarnation. Okay? There's some aspect. Thank you, my son. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. There's some aspect of what's going on with you physically that is very spiritual in nature. Throughout lifetimes. And I feel like this is a great time. You're going to be coming up on the next 2 to 3 months where you are going to be able to shake this off. You're going to be able to get this off of your energy, even if not for this lifetime, for your next several lifetimes. It's something that is on you because of an ancestor. This is not to say sicknesses and disease don't exist, guys, but spiritual dis-ease can and usually will cause physical disease. And I feel like your soul has picked up this spiritual illness in some other lifetime. It was put on you by ancestors. This is a lot of spiritual insight into what you're dealing with physically. And I feel like if you just talk to your guides or use the what is the name of the sound healing that you use, or however you want to do it, get to the bottom of that lifetime and understand why this was placed on you and how to move out from it. That is a really powerful message. Holy crap. I mean, they're all powerful, but that is like, I'm seeing it as so specific. Grey Wolf put money for a timestamp. Grey Wolf, if you're still here, you're up. So
yeah, I was just going to say that.
You probably had, her Wi-Fi is so wonky in Canada.
Okay, well, just go ahead and do Mom. Did you just do Mom?
Damien, do you want a reading too? It's good to see you. Your stalker's not in here yet, so you could hang out for a little bit. Mom, I got to use the fairy tale. Oh, Grey Wolf. Mom, I'm going to do Grey Wolf first, then you, okay? So bear with me, Mommy. Grey Wolf, for you, I am using Spirit Animal. This is one of the decks I got for my birthday from Miss Julie Girl. Okay. Oh, he's on my stream with his friends, or he's out with his friends? All right.
He's probably playing Call of Duty with his friends.
I don't know. Damien, do you play Call of Duty? You know what game I'm getting really good at? Red Dead Redemption. I only have part 1, though, because I'm cheap and I didn't want to pay for part 2.
Well, play part 1 first, and then you'll totally enjoy part 2 even more.
That's what I was told. That you don't have to play the first one first, but that it's so much better if you do. Skyly, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad that your boyfriends here. I'm glad you guys are hanging out. It's so cool when new people come in and just kind of merge in with everybody. Oh, nice. Those Irish friends. Okay, Miss Grey Wolf, you got the moose. The spirit of the moose invites you to examine your behavior thoroughly. The giant moose translates the way it moves through the world as integrity. To hold such strength in check, but have the power to express it in an impeccable way, requires righteousness and virtue. With the drawing of this card, it is time to ask a very direct question. Do you always act from a place of integrity, or can you sometimes be disingenuous with yourself or others? This is not a judgment, Grey Wolf, but a necessary introspection that leads to profound realizations and ultimately happiness. It's never comfortable to acknowledge our flaws and recognize that at times we can be manipulative, all of us, or hypocritical. Most of the time, we are victims of our own behavior, but don't judge yourself too harshly. Brutal honesty and deep awareness are required to spot all the tricks we use to on ourselves and others, and to identify all the masks we wear in our social relationships. The moose can help you gain clarity and reconnect with your core values, the person you really want to be, your true self. If you're already aware of this process and are willing to honor your integrity, then you are an example many will respect and be inspired by. Truth and self-understanding will always reveal the path to enlightenment. Act with integrity even when it's not the easiest route. It will help you reconnect to your own truth and be in harmony with yourself. So, Grey Wolf, I'm not going to talk too much about your personal reading because that's personal. What I will say, hey, Ryan, what's up? So good to see you. Long time no see. But what I will say is, I don't feel like this is you being disingenuous or going out of your way to lie or cheat, manipulate, steal. I feel as though in the next month or two, though, you are being pushed to, thank you, Sandy, to what your limits are. Okay? I feel like you have tried every which way but loose to ignore someone's behavior, talk to someone about their behavior, get back at someone perhaps, do it. Like, you have tried literally everything. And now you're getting to the point where you're thinking of vengeance, right? I don't see you going through with it, but just the fact that it's there is kind of a bit rotten, right? You don't want to feel that way, especially towards someone you're close enough with that they have the ability to treat you this way and you're still there. One more thing I did see in your personal is you branching out and just moving on to doing your own thing, regardless of what others think, say, or feel about it, because you know the truth deep down in your soul and what's right for you. That is moose energy. Unmoving, standing on business, while you may take into consideration what other people think, say, want, need, and feel, under no circumstances, especially in the next month or two through to mid-May, under no circumstances are you to allow yourself to be talked out of for any reason something you are dead set on doing, because there is something coming in here that is a major part of your path and your soul's journey for this lifetime. And if you don't accomplish and achieve it now, you're not going to. There's no consequences to that except your next life. You're going to be striving most of it to accomplish the same thing, and you can just get it out of the way now. Yeah, right, Netter? You have what it takes, you have it in you, and you have finally gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I'm sorry you feel that way, but this is what I'm doing. And I think the reason, it's kind of like the way you've been treated by this person or these people, where anything you wanted, needed, said, thought, felt, they were like, yep, sorry, and still went about their business anyway. So why not you? Just be sure to be mindful that you're not doing it in a vengeful way. You're doing it because it's the right thing to do. And if you happen to get vengeance and give them a little taste of their medicine, so be it. I don't like whoever this person is in your life anyway. I don't know who they are, but I know their energy, and I know that I do not like them at all. So I hope you do get back at them. I swear, the first thing I thought when I picked up that card is they have moose in Canada. Take the moose in the next few months, okay? I don't know if they hybrid. I don't know anything about them, but if you should see them in the next couple of months, all right? Take them as a sign you're on the right path, okay? Seriously. Mom, there are eyes in it. It's a moose. It's just like an overexposed shot. It's just like an overexposed shot of a moose. All right, Mommy Dearest. my favorite deck that I don't use very often because sometimes the messages are long, but since we're in the beginning of our stream here, the Goose Girl Mother, the card of theft. All right, listen, everyone. This one's a little bit long. Bear with me. A young princess sets out on a long journey to marry a prince. Her mother, a widowed queen, gives her only daughter a protective charm. 3 drops of her own royal blood upon a snow-white handkerchief and a golden goblet from which to drink. The princess will take this journey upon her beloved horse, the wondrous Falada, who has an extraordinary talent. Falada can talk. She is to be accompanied by her maid servant, and so the 2 women, one royal, one a servant, set out upon the journey to her destiny. After hours of travel, the castle is far behind them. Thirsty, the princess asks the servant to fetch her some water in the golden cup, but the maidservant tells her shortly to go get it yourself. She will not give the princess the golden goblet, so the queen's daughter cups her hands in the flowing water of the river and drinks. While leaning over, the 3 drops of blood somehow speak, sighing that if her mother knew how she was being treated, her heart would be broken. A second time, the princess stops and asks for water. Again, the servant refuses her. The princess, shocked, drinks again from the stream, and again her mother's charm sighs, speaking of how wrong this treatment is, and for her to beware. The princess is so shocked at the warning, she tumbles forward into the stream, and the handkerchief with her mother's blood and her magical protection is lost. Here we go. With the golden goblet in the keeping of the maid. Stephen, I don't know what you're doing, but stop changing the thing, please. With the golden goblet in the keeping of the maid, the blessing of the mother lost, the maid makes her move and demands the princess strip and swap clothes with her. She explains that she's going to be the princess. She's going to be the princess. She will marry her intended, and if the princess speaks a word, the maid's just going to kill her. She forces her to swear an oath of silence. Grey Wolf, that's absolutely right. That she will never speak to another person of this crime. The princess, disabled by her own gentleness and sheltered life, obeys and agrees, and so begins her life as a servant, and ultimately as the goose girl in the kingdom she was once meant to rule over. This story seems a simple one, of true identity and injustice. It also seems to be about, at its heart, overcoming intimidation and restoration. But this tale is also deeply magical. The charm given to the princess is one of the most potent of fairy tale symbols. The river is the place where her true self is lost, and from that point forward, she is no longer able to speak her truth to a single person. Now, this is a long card, so Mom, I just want to break this part of it down. This is about betrayal, being aware of betrayal in your past and allowing it to go on because whatever reason, feeling like, maybe you deserve it for something you did, the karma thing, feeling like it would just cause too much trouble if I were to cause a big scene about this, or it would possibly, put me in a position I don't want to be in if I were to bring this up to the person who did the indiscretion. It's you up to this point, allowing yourself to knowingly be bamboozled, manipulated, abused, not treated very well in general. And it's wrong, and you've always known it was wrong, but you figure, well, I'm not perfect, or, oh, you make excuses for the people who hurt you. And light workers do tend to do that. More so than that, you've had someone in your past, whoever it may have been, maybe it was more than one person, I honestly don't know, putting on you like, well, yeah, I did this, but look what you did. And you're talking about, I'm just using this as an example, your boyfriend cheating on you, and he's talking about when you were 4 years old, you stole a pencil. But somehow making you feel in your mind and in your heart that those two are the same. And you accepting it because who are you to say anything, right? Feeling very, very powerless and not knowing what to do with that. So that's where we are at this point. The loss of the protection of her mother is the catalyst for change within this tale. When we lose what we are or who we are, our ancestral link, our stories, our connection to place and to land and to blood, we are lost and our identity can be taken, and we can be bullied and intimidated into giving up our power, even our true selves. And so the maid takes the goblet, takes the princess's horse, the noble Falada, and she then takes her destiny. The prince is fooled, for he sees only the maid's fine garments and her pretty face, but the old king can see that this young servant has dignity, beauty, and grace. Even so, the false princess has Falada's head cut off, so he cannot share the truth with anyone, and she hangs his head over the gates of the castle to remind the goose girl of what her fate will be if she speaks out against the false princess. Each day she tends to the geese, combs out her hair, golden strands flying in the breeze, and speaks with Falada's head beneath the gates of the castle, sharing her burdens and her fears. Their friendship continues even after death. The king sees her speaking with Falada, and even though she refuses to share with him what it is she spoke of, he convinces her that she must share her tale with an iron stove, which is a place of ironclad safety where no one could ever hear her. Her story spills out of her heartbreak over the murder of Falada, the golden cup, the loss of her mother's gift, and how ashamed she is of letting both her mother and her dead father down. The king, who is now aware of the deception, asks the false princess what she would do should someone steal a true princess's identity, slaughter a magical beast, steal a mother's charm, and deceive a prince and a king. The false princess declares that she would send this person rolling down a steep hill, trapped within a barrel studded with the sharpest of nails. The king declares this to be her fate, frees the goose girl, and restores her to her royal status. This may seem to be a tale about a bitter servant and a weak princess, but it is at its heart about protective magic and magical beasts, about appearances and truths, what things are and what they seem to be, about identity, generational truths. There is a rich vein of symbolism in this beautiful tale, and so when this card comes through, know that someone extremely honorable has been wronged, and their work, their special signature, has been stolen from them. Whew. After 3 days of tending the geese, her story became known. The false princess was punished cruelly after choosing the punishment for herself, and the prince learned wisdom and how easily fooled he was. Falada stays half within this world and half within another, and the princess does not forget what it is to be left out, and a kind and fair queen she is in return. So identity theft is one of the key words. Blood magic, which definitely we have between us, Mom. Justice and intimidation, wisdom. So one of the things that really stuck out to me in this story is this feeling you have, and I've always had it too. I don't know how this got ingrained in us. I think it's like the females on our side, because I see it in my sisters and my nieces, where for the most part, we feel like, oh yeah, you know, that really horrible thing was done to us. Yeah, but it's not happening now. Like, we're not justice seekers. My dad, in fact, calls people who like call the cops if you see a car accident, or if you see someone fighting in the street and you call the cops. My dad will hate you, and he will insist that you are a crime-fighting mother effer, and he will not want anything to do with you. But it's like we've somehow been trained and conditioned, you specifically, Mom, to think, well, that person screwed me over, but, you know, I'm sure they didn't mean it. Or they said they're sorry. All of these excuses for all of this bad behavior aimed at you for your entire life. And the universe is saying, you don't have to deal with that ever again. Not only in this lifetime, and I'm seeing a theme here with bringing in other lifetimes and other contracts and other, you know, dimensions here. Mom, in the next couple of months, I want you to really be in your power, okay? Spirit is like she has to stand on business, meaning you can pretend to be allowing someone to manipulate you, but you really have to keep that separate. Don't allow yourself to be pulled into somebody else's false narrative, to be pulled into somebody else's fantasy fairy tale simply because you want so badly for it to be true. And it's not just what we were talking about earlier. This is something altogether different, where someone time and again is disrespectful, rude, mocking, and you know, you're just like, well, it's not really worth my time. That's just how that person is. Yeah, but this person is messing with your energy the more you're around them and the more they're behaving this way. And just simply excusing it as, oh, that's just so-and-so. I do see this person, and I don't know what this is about, Mom, and you may not know yet, but you're going to get an inkling soon. Somebody's like taking something from you. I don't know if they're stealing like little bits of money, or if they're somehow trying to convince you to give them something that's very special to you. There's some form of property manipulation here. I don't believe anyone's actively like taking, I don't see anyone like robbing the house or anything, but somebody feels deserving of what you have, meaning physically, materialistically, and they're going to try to slowly get you to trust them to take. Unfortunately, I do feel like this is someone you know. I don't know if you're close to them, but you do know them personally. Now, as far as the injustice, and I know this is a long one, guys, so just bear with me because my mom really needs to hear this. You need to start demanding justice, demanding explanations when things don't make sense, demanding people explain themselves when you've obviously caught them in lies. You have the right to do that, right? That might not even occur to you, that if someone lies to your face and you know they're lying, you have the right to say, BS, I know you're lying. You're a Cancer sun. You're a teeny bit more vocal than us Pisces suns, but you're not, where an Aries or a Capricorn is, right? You always want to think the best in people and give people the benefit of the doubt. And unfortunately, in the next 2 months, there is no room for that. This is you really getting yourself to a place where you are comfortable being in your power, speaking your truth, saying no when you feel like saying no, saying yes when you feel like saying yes, and not, like I said to Lindsay or Miss Grey Wolf, not actively seeking vengeance, but living such a great life that you inadvertently get revenge on the people who have wronged you. Do not take anyone's word for anything. If anything someone says feel the least bit suspicious or not right, don't take their word for it. This is not a time to be like, oh, well, I trust people until they give me a reason not to. No, this is, I don't trust you until you earn my trust type energy. And I do feel like someone could be coming in that you're meeting and getting to know, male or female, I'm not sure. But you don't just hand them your trust, make them work for it. And just keep an eye on your credit cards and stuff. Miss Skyly, I wish I had this kind of advice. It's actually, I channel spirit, but it always resonates with me too. Oh, what did I do? All right, who is next? And then after that, I do have to run to the bathroom really quick, but only be a minute.
Sam B, and then Nutter, and then Divine, and then we're on to the...
Hey, Miss Divine. Yeah, guys, if we end early this week, we end early. I hope we don't. And don't forget to donate to my PayPal or Cash App if you can. I do really appreciate it. You literally just told me who was next.
Sandy Schmidt.
Miss Sandy. Miss Sandy, we're using deep, dark, and dangerous. All right. Mom, have a shot of moonshine for me. I love you too. You're welcome. Miss Sandy girl, you got the card of darkness, or the goddess of darkness, the goddess Nyx, card number 19. The darkness is necessary. It's the place of possibility and rest. It is natural and beneficial to experience some cycles of darkness. You can illuminate your way through dark times. Not everything unpleasant is evil. The embodiment of the night is the goddess Nyx. She was one of our primordial or original deities emerging at the very beginning of the universe. Her fathers were Chaos and or Phanis, one of the oldest of gods. She fell in love with Erebus, darkness, and created Aether, light, and Hemera, day. She self-created the infamous three fates, the Morai, as well as Apate, deception, Dolos, nemesis, balance, and retribution, the Charis, the Hesperides, Oasis, which is misery, Momos, doom, the Onarioi, nightmares, forgive me, guys, I'm butchering this, Hypnos, sleep, Thanatos, death, Philos, friendship, Jairus, old age, Eris, strife and discord, and Charon, the ferryman of the underworld. In the Orphic tradition, Uranus, the god of the sky, was also a child of Nyx. What's up, Smoochy girl? She is often referred to as the Dark Mother in Greek mythos, elementally a first goddess who begat many other important deities, the Protogenos. As she is one of the oldest and strongest of the Greek deities, even the mighty Zeus is said not to provoke her. After angrily chasing Hypnos into Nyx's cave after being tricked by him and his own wife Hera, Zeus would go no further than the entrance. Looking at most of her progeny, it would be easy to think that Nyx is evil or that her darkness could have a negative judgment. Nyx should not be viewed that way. Winged and beautiful, Nyx is simply the night. No judgment on whether that's better than the day. Paradoxically, she created light and day. She brings balance with Nemesis, Philotes, and the Charis. She brings rest with Hypnos and Thanatos. Nyx just represents the darker nature of how the world works. Oh, Smoochy Girl, I will put him on my prayer list. Sandy, your plant companion is night blooming jasmine, and your crystal companion is onyx. If you have onyx, or if you can get to, a little store or even off Amazon, just make sure it's not synthetic. Get you a little tumblestone of onyx. It should be like $3 to $5, depending where you get it, and work with it. Okay, either wear it in your bra or people say in your pocket, but I don't feel like if the energy is not touching your skin, it's not the same. Or you can put it between your mattress and your box spring. Okay. What this card is saying for you for the next 2 weeks, Miss Sandy, and there's a lot, so just bear with me. There's some area in your life where there is a lack of balance. I feel like you're becoming more aware of what this is as you spiritually ascend and activate. We didn't get to talk as much as I wanted us to, which is why I asked Miss Pixie to help you. And then she had the tragedy with her mom passing, but we will get there, the three of us, if necessary. But with activation, which you've recently activated, your spiritual abilities, or at least some of them, you are now becoming more spiritually aware of the energy of the people around you, the energy of the situations you're in, like the energetic vibration of each and every person, place, and thing you come into contact with, which can be extremely overwhelming. It's one of the main reasons I don't leave my house, right? I don't need all of this information about everyone. One of the things the universe wants you to be mindful of in the next 2 weeks, Sandy, and it's going to be really important that you do this, net or don't go, is there's a lack of balance in some area. And I feel like this might come as a shock to you. Like you're sitting around doing whatever it is you normally do one night, and suddenly it hits you that you are being treated very unfairly in some situation. Or even if you don't feel like it's unfair, there's lack of reciprocity. We talk about this at least once every week, where energy needs to be reciprocated. And if it's not, you're just wasting the energy. So think, for example, of all the energy we waste without meaning to during the day, holding the door open for someone who doesn't say thank you, or, whatever. There are so many ways we throw out our energy throughout the day. And that doesn't mean we should stop holding doors for people or stop doing kind deeds, but it means most people are in a position where they should want to give back. There's somewhere in your life where you are finally starting to understand that there really was never meant to be a balance on the other person's end. So someone either just expected you to give more at work, in a relationship, there's something here. It'll be very specific to you in your life, what you're dealing with. And this is you just not accepting it anymore. Whether you confront the other person or people involved, or whether you step up your game and just say, you know what, from now on, I'm giving what I get. But here's the thing. If anybody can set a boundary, Sandy, you've got to enforce the boundaries you set. So if you say, excuse me, that's it, I'm not doing dishes anymore until someone else starts helping me fold the laundry. This is trivial stuff, but it is what it is. It's just an example. Then you have to be ready and willing to not do those dishes anymore. I feel like you've given maybe ultimatums, Smoochy Damien was in chat. I was just messing with him. I feel like you've given ultimatums, or you put your foot down. You've set boundaries so many times, Sandy, with at least one person, but it's like you never were able to enforce the boundary, right? You feel bad. They make you feel guilty. They somehow convince you that it's your job. Somebody here is really taking advantage of your kindness and of what you do for them. And the next couple of weeks, you are going to be begging, just spiritually begging for balance. And this is not going to fly any longer. You are going to have to address this situation. However you do so, I mean, that's going to be personal to you. And it may take more than one try for people to really understand that Sandy isn't playing anymore. Sandy, the reason this is happening is because you are being called to focus on your spiritual abilities. What's up, Mr. J? Widow wink indeed, sir. You're being called to really focus on your spiritual development right now, and things like people draining you of your energy, it's not helping. One more thing I do want to say is somebody in the next couple of weeks, I say 3 to 4 weeks, is going to be giving you a hard time about this balance you're seeking, about this spiritual elevation. Maybe you're talking to someone about, getting an oracle reading, and they go off on you about how it's demonic and it's evil. There is someone here who is really, really putting an indictment on you, placing a judgment on something that you're trying to do to better your life. Guess what? Let them think what they want. Become comfortable with others being uncomfortable with what you're doing, as long as you're doing the right thing for you. Guys, I do have to go pee so bad. I will be right back. Don't leave.
Okay, I'll give the list real quick. Next is Netter. Are you ready, Netter? And then Divine. Then we'll go into the whatever she wants to do next. I let her pick who gets him or not. So when she gets back, she can do that after she finishes the next two, unless somebody else comes in that's either a member or paid. But other than that, I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I'm sorry I wasn't here Wednesday night. I had a big day Thursday and I needed to rest. It was a busy, busy day. I'm still kind of feeling the after effects of it. I've had the dropsies all day. I dropped my mouse. That's why the screen went all kooky. But other than that, I'm good. I hope everybody else is good too. I don't know where Ann is. She's a busy lady. I'm sure she'll stop in if she can. Other than that, we're good. Yeah, actually, Ryan, probably definitely within the next 2 days. We have a lot to talk about. Other than that, yeah, I want to catch up, bud.
Oh, Skyly, 5 million. My 6-year-old is always like, Mommy, I believe in you. You're going to get 10,000, because he thinks 10,000 is 100,000. That where you get like the button. Oh my God, I want that button so bad. Mom, just so you know, Mr. J in chat is Johnny. Just so you know, you guys haven't spoken in a really long time. Who's next? You like the backdrop? I have a brand new one from Jules, but I need Ray to put it up. And every time he does, he's like a wrecking machine, not on purpose, but I have such little space, and he's 6'5" and he's huge, and he like stomps all over my stuff and elbows things down. And it's just a mess trying to get a new backdrop hung. Sorry, my lips are dry. Who's next?
New England.
All right, Sir Netter. Let's do Halloween. Oh, Ryan, that's nice. Spending time with Mom. Well, this is actually a backdrop, and then I put the little picture RJ colored me right here. Oh no, are we back? Are we good? Let me turn my Wi-Fi off. My Wi-Fi is getting crazy and we blinked out for a second. Nutslap's messaging me about Fortnite. I don't think he even realizes we're live right now. Thank you, Divine. You're still frozen. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Netter, how dare you? You got hearth. Happiness in our hearts and homes. All right. The heart of every home, the fire that unites. Winter's warmth centers, stories, love delights. The ancient Romans believed that every home had a heart, and it was the hearth. Where the fire burned, the family gathered for sustenance, communication, and protection. This concept was so important to the culture that there was a huge city hearth, the Vestal Temple, where the fire of the home goddess Vesta burned forever without ever going out. This sacred flame was protected by the soldiers with their very lives should there be an invasion. The place where the goddess Vesta was honored within every ordinary home was also the hearth, and it was where women prepared food and cooked. Some of the food was always offered back into the fire as an offering to Vesta for her blessing and protection. Often, husbands were sent away on military duty for years on end, and their wives at home were not just expected to keep the home and often the business running, but husbands. Sorry, it keeps blinking out on my end, so faithfully until their return. They prayed to Vesta to ensure their family members' safe return and to keep the fires of love stoked. The saying, keep the home fires burning, was inspired by this practice. Actually, Netter, that is, I believe, a gargoyle. Blue, never, never. And actually, for as scary as gargoyles are, they're actually statues of protection. Very much so. Should the hearth card appear in your divination, okay, no problem, Skyly. Thank you. You are being asked to look to your idea of what home and family is for you. Take the time to build up your love fire and have it burning brightly. Make your relationships a priority. If there is conflict within your home and family, it's time to take concrete steps to address the issue for good. If you or a member of your family is away from home due to travel or work, know that protection is being given. Bye-bye, girl. So, okay. Netter, I know that you recently moved and you may still kind of be uncomfortable in where you're at, where your home is, right? I do feel something you and I were talking about. Ryan knows what's up. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Something recently you and I were talking about, we're trying to figure out the residual energy. Is it something that can possibly harm you, or at least that's what I was asking myself. I will say to do a spring cleaning a little early, not quite spring yet, but definitely do a spring cleaning in that house or apartment. I know that's the last thing you probably want to do. Your energy has gotten so much higher vibrating, so much better, so much more optimistic, and it's only going to get better from here, but you have got to clear out that residual. And get rid of anything that was in the house when you moved in. Michigan UFO! Get rid of anything that was in the house when you moved in. I feel like there are some things, or there's at least one thing. It's very small, seemingly irrelevant. It's not that it's cursed or hexed or it just has an icky attachment, right? So maybe someone who handled it at some point had a bad attachment and the energy is still there. Or maybe, the person who lived there before you didn't have the best energy. Maybe it came from a flea market and never had, there's something there. Just get rid of it, replace it. I don't think there's going to be anything that was already there that you can't replace with something new, or at least something cleansed. Get rid of it. Yes. Because I was seeing something small, but I don't know. Like, I was thinking more like a book, a small rectangle, but a license plate is a small rectangle. So I would say, yes, burn it if you can. Otherwise, get rid of it, get it out of the house. I just feel like there's something negative attached to it. Also, Netter, I feel like the more you focus, and I'm not telling you to be more introverted and more isolated, but what I will say is the more you focus on kind of prettying up your house, making it more comfortable, more livable, more easily breathable inside of it, the more And I don't know how this works, but it's like you're gaining confidence from this, from reminding yourself that you're fine all by yourself. Because once we accept we're fine all by ourselves, that's when spirit starts playing. Spirit's got jokes, and that's when people who we can be very closely connected to as friends or even romantically involved in will start coming in. We have to get in that aligned, comfortable energy for ourselves. I feel like this is telling you if anyone's traveling, they're going to be okay. You don't have to worry about it. And also what I will say is, I don't know why Spirit wants me to say this to you, but hopefully it'll resonate. And if not, it will in the next couple of weeks. It's okay to put expectations on yourself. I don't know what that means or what that will mean to you going forward, but it is absolutely okay for you to expect the best of yourself, the best for yourself, as long as you're conducting yourself with integrity and, keeping your dignity intact, refusing to stoop too low, not getting involved with people from the past who were very bad for you and had negative effect and impact on your life. Like, these are all very reasonable expectations, right? To only be surrounded by and in communication with people who treat you with respect, where there's reciprocity of energy. I feel like you need to spend some time focusing on your personal space and the energy in your home, cleaning it from top to bottom, saging it, salting it, and the same for yourself. That's important. I know the last thing you want to do is clean this place like spick and span. I'm not saying you're a dirty person. I'm sure you have a clean house. But the cleaning I'm talking about is like, we scrubbing floors, boo. You can pay me. I'll come by and do it. You got to also drive me to and from though. So I don't know if that'll work, but a girl's got to make a living. Seriously, guys, if you can donate anything to PayPal or Cash App, that'll be my money for the week. So consider doing that. I'm working on some things to bring in more income across platforms. Possibly trying to get myself out there to have more people purchasing readings from me, putting more for the memberships, possibly even getting reconnected to my Patreon so that I can do more there. Yeah. Well, with you, it's different. I don't think your dad would care if I came in and started cleaning. He probably wouldn't even bat an eye, but I wouldn't be able to wear my pink wig. It might confuse him. Blue Crossroads, all you put was a comma. A taxi? You know how much an Uber would be from my house to yours? Probably like several $100s. I guess you can Uber me back home. Cleaning calms me though. I've always been kind of a rage cleaner where like if I'm angry and I'm on, like say I'm on the phone with you and I call you because I'm angry, or you happen to call me while I'm in the middle of fighting or like arguing with somebody, you'll hear a spray, scrub. Like you'll hear it because it's just kind of what I do. That is true. I don't know though, that I still have the picture of the time you guys forced me to wear that cheese head when they beat the Steelers. So when the Packers beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl, not a few years ago, but years ago, I lost a bet with Mr. J's dad. And I went to, because I have the Steelers tattoo, I went to their house and I had to put on the cheese head and take a picture. And I lost. Yeah, Smoochie, there's just something about it. Like, I don't know. It's relaxing for me. Carly, what's up, girl? That's okay. We're only an hour in. Divine is next, you said? I usually don't either, Smooch. Oh, Blue's cleaning right now. Blue, you are very, like, you're always I love this about you, too. You're always doing, like, something around your house or, like, at work. Like, I kind of, like, a part of me, like, feels bad because, like, I want to tell you need time for you, too. You're either cooking, cleaning, mowing, working, doing something with the dogs. Like, you're very active. Still living at that Netter. Like, seriously, all jokes aside, please get that under control. It's not good. It's not good for you, for anybody, but especially someone so open as you are, who's had such horrible experiences with attachments. And please, please do everything you can to, within the next 30 days, get everything under control. Oh my God, my mom, forget it. I've told you guys, okay? So say this stack of books is like, or this stack of cards is like something on my mom's dining room table. If you go into her house and go like this, she'll be like, who moved that? I know somebody touched it. It goes like this. But I love that. I hate a messy home. I don't mind, like, you know, homes get lived in, but like for me, I need everything to be in its spot. And if it's not, it drives me nuts. And I know Ray knows that. And I think sometimes he purposely will move things like just a little over to this side or a little bit. He'll do it on purpose because he knows it enrages me. But if I scream, he's like, you're yelling about that. You know what I mean? Like, very annoying. No, you have to, okay, listen, if you don't want furniture, you don't want furniture. I would say that's not good. Like, you have to get your place that you're living right now as comfortable as possible. Now, yeah, the boo-boo face. If you plan on moving again soon, then I understand. But if you like have no ideas of like where you might, like, if that's not in your near future, you really have to make a home out of this place. I can't express how detrimental it is to our energy, to our soul, to feel like we don't have a home base. Now, I'm talking about light workers specifically, but people in general. But I'm telling you, it's going to make you feel so much better, and your energy is going to be much brighter and optimistic. Get that place as though it's, you know, you trade it in the here and now as though it's the home of your dreams. Even if it's not, it's still yours. It's what you have. It belongs to you. Take pride in it. All right, Miss Divine. I'm going to use Lantern Oracle. I believe you, Smoochie. I know some people like that. I have a beautiful wicker set downstairs, but it's not because my mom moved often. It's because she was nice enough to give it to us as a housewarming gift when we bought this place. Also, believe it or not, and this is scientifically like factual if you were to look it up and really dig into it, living in messy spaces, even if you feel it doesn't bother you, like you're used to it, like hoarders do, like living in places like that really stress our like energy out. We will be so much more stressed and highly like agitated, and we might not even be able to pinpoint what's doing it. The mess around you is doing it. As humans, we are actually orderly beings. Carly, you'll be next. What's up, Skyly? Welcome back. All right, Divine, I hope you're still here. You got distorted desire. Card number 15. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need that's driving it. That is very, very true. Yeah, Virgos are very meticulous. Okay. Miss Divine. Knowing the difference between needs and wants is key to navigating what is at the root of your desire. It helps us to distinguish what is self-sabotaging, compulsion, or mirage from what is genuinely life-enhancing aspiration to be realistically pursued. Divine, when what we think we want is not what we need or long for at a core level, the realization of such desires potentially results in something nightmarish rather than dream fulfillment. In worst case scenarios, this can have us running for our lives like the featured mother. Whether or not we consciously recognize a delusion for what it is, an untruth can never satisfy our needs. Illusions have no sustenance or substance and therefore cannot satiate the burning desire that mistakenly drives us to attain them in the first place. Nonetheless, as the origin of every distorted desire is an invaluable lesson for us to learn about ourselves. At the origin of every distorted desire. Gently unpack the reasons why you are turning away from rather than confronting the things that are not actually as they seem in your life. It may be necessary to compassionately release yourself from an unwarranted conviction that things or a person will magically change into what they have the potential to become and cease making excuses for why they haven't yet. Oh my gosh. I resemble this message. Once we get clear on what our heart's core desire is and therefore need, we are ready to recognize it in whatever form it takes and to receive it. Make the space for your heart's true longings to come in by freeing yourself of any illusions that are still haunting you. So, Divine, while I don't think you have any magical thinking that someone, oh, blue, true, that someone's just going to up and change. I talk to people who deal with narcissists a lot or deal with abuse, and I always tell them, I know that you're waiting for the moment of clarity when they say, wow, I've done all this to this person and they still put up with me and they love me anyway. They've been here through XYZ. They deserve this. It's never going to happen because narcissists and other toxic people, they can't face the most basic of facts about themselves to be accountable. The accountability of a toddler or the responsibility of a toddler, I don't remember how it goes, something with a toddler and a king, but whatever the saying was, I wish I could remember it because it's so true. The recognition of a king, the accountability of a toddler. I don't think it could be a person you're dealing with here, Divine. And I do think if so, it's someone on the outskirts. It's not someone you're very, very close to, but someone you are connected with in some way that you kind of have to deal with at least every once in a while. Okay. This is like, this is someone at work and they're a floater, so you only have to work with them once a month. It's someone you don't see often, but for some reason they're affecting your life. Please understand, and I feel like you've already come to terms with this, but there's still this teeny tiny little inkling in you that's like, well, maybe this person will be the person, he promised he'd be. Or just for an example, say it's your daughter's father. Like, okay, I know he's a jerk. I know he doesn't stand on business. I know he's dishonest. I know he's XYZ, but maybe, just maybe, the love for his daughter, like, no. I'm sorry, but him specifically, I don't know if that's who this is about, but him specifically, you have got to release all that. And I feel like for the most part you did. It's human to want the best for the people around us. And wanting the best also includes wanting people to be honest and accountable, especially when we are. And I know you are. Another thing I'm seeing here, though, is something is not turning out as expected. Okay. And I feel like this could really put a damper on your energy if you allow it to. The universe is telling you, like, you already know what this is. Things not turning out as expected. The universe didn't let you down. Your own expectation did. You should just be expecting the universe to provide, or God to provide, depending on what you believe, not having an expectation of how whatever it is provided. Does that make sense? The universe is testing you in the next few weeks. It's going to seem like one thing after another, after another, after another is going wrong. The universe wants to see you, though maybe a little devastated, a little hurt, some pain, persevering and pushing through anyway at your highest vibration, not slugging along like, well, I got a life now, even though trust me, I know how that feels. I'm really struggling lately with what I've chose to do as a profession and how much of a failure I seem like 90% of the time. But what I try to do is what the universe is urging you to do in the next couple of weeks. Instead of saying, well, I've got to get up in life today because I've got to, like, oh, all right, well, that didn't work out. But what can I do today that's going to have a positive impact on other people and that's going to make me the best person I could possibly be today? Is that falsely optimistic? Maybe a little bit. Is it toxically positive? No, I don't think so. Faking it until you make it isn't necessarily a bad thing because it's training not only your minds, not only your body, your spirit, your energy, your psychicness. It's training it to see, think, feel, be exactly what we need it to be. Once we're trained enough into that mindset, into that spiritual state, into that way of being, we will so much easier take it on when things do start going our way. This is the ultimate test. Let me read. This guy's got jokes. Yeah, where is Nutslap? Guaranteed he forgot because he texted me about Fortnite. Bro, are you seriously messaging me about an update in Fortnite right now instead of coming into our chat and hanging out with us? You got beef? What's the problem? What is the problem? All right. So Gemma Jade was in the grocery store the other day and she was looking for parsley in the dairy section, but she couldn't find any. So she asked the worker, "Where's the parsley?" "I don't see it." The worker looks at her a little confused. "Well, we happen to be out of parsley today." So she goes on to the bread aisle looking for a can of sardines. She goes back and asks the same guy, "Where's the parsley?" The guy looks at her and says, "I'm sorry, but we're out of parsley, but it's coming in tomorrow." She goes out about her shopping, looking for peanut butter in the frozen. Okay, I think he's getting to the punchline. My mom goes, "Parsley's in the produce department, LOL," for anyone who don't know. Blue Crossroads says, "One of my prior agents was down here with his family this week. Spent time talking to him and reminiscing. It was good to see him and his family. Did me good." That is awesome. Yeah, your energy has heightened in the past few days. You were down for a little bit. A lot of us were, though. It's like every person I was talking to was like, bam, 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 bam. And then, you and I talk a lot. So I noticed it immediately. And I was like, guys, it could be the first time I'm ever talking to you. And if you have low energy and something's bothering you, I will swear to God I did something wrong to you. I am so conditioned to think that everything's my fault. I'm always wrong. It could be a stranger on the street, doesn't smile at me, and I'll be like, "Oh my God, that person hates me. I must have inadvertently done something." It's always me, right? But I'm glad to see so many of you guys really bouncing back. Melissa Nicole, what's up, girl? Divine says, "You're not a failure, not even close. I saw abundance in your future. Money brings abundance, but also look how far you've come in life. Abundance comes in many ways." For sure. And I even just did a TikTok right before this stream where I was like, social media trains you to think that 6,000 subscribers isn't a lot. That's a lot of people. Get 6,000 people and bring them to the grocery store. That's a lot of people. But social media is so tainted. It has me thinking that I am just not enough, not good enough. And I see people doing all these offensive, nasty, horrible, mean things to people going viral. And I'm just like, if that's what it's going to take, I don't want to do it. But is that what it's going to take? Right? Do I need to find something else? And I just don't feel now that I do. I just feel like I need to make a little bit more money. If I can get the donations up a little bit more, sell a little bit more readings, I'll be okay. It's just frustrating watching people who are horrific people, genuinely to their core, become millionaires overnight by doing nothing, but I think we all feel that way in our lives, where there's someone who we just see as a not good person, just winning. You know why? Because the devil gives your due immediately, because he's bound to take your soul. So he can't play the long con with you. He just gives it to you knowing that the minute you accept it, he's going to get what is his. Whereas the universe, God, whatever you believe in, kind of does the long-term thing with us on an eternal level. Whatever you don't accomplish in this life, you're free to do in the next. So New England Dirt Roadie, let's get to the point here. She goes back to the same guy and asks, "Where's the parsley?" The worker, becoming exasperated, said, "Could you humor me for a moment? Could you spell..." Wait a minute. "Could you spell cat as in catastrophe?" Gemma spells CAT. "Thanks. Now, could you spell dog as in dogma?" Gemma says DOG, dogma. Mr. J, I know. I do have a lot of personal limitations with what I'm able to. You were there with me. The stories I could tell. But I'm just personally limited, I know I'm going to find it. I was doing so well here for so long, and then I don't know what happened. It was just I know what happened. I wasn't able to work all last summer. And that's why I'm so concerned, because the cheapest place I found that will take him is $300 a week. So I was thinking, even if I send him 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, that's still about $1,500 I'll need for summer just to pay for him to go to camp, day camp. I need help, guys. I need help in prayers, okay, that more business comes in. more people see my stuff. Maybe I can get a sponsor or two, or a team to help me with some things, because it is just me. So, all right. The worker asked Gemma, now could you spell out F-U-C-K as in parsley? Gemma thinks for a moment, looks down at the ground, starts pacing back and forth. This is getting very long-winded. That slap! I said, I know, he forgot. Thank you, love bug. Mr. J, thank you too. I think I will. It's just, I feel like I've been trying forever, you know? Then a light bulb turns on over her head and she says, there's no F-U-C-K in parsley. What? Does he turn around and say exactly? Who's next? Well, I'm waiting for the punchline of this.
Carly.
I love you guys so much. I genuinely do. He doesn't drink. I don't think. You're not drinking again, are you, Ned? Hey, I'd rather see you telling jokes than, see you in a more disheveled state. Carly, I'm using my newest deck, Dark Goddesses. This is the one my mom got me for my birthday. Mom, did I tell you what Amazon did with this deck? I ordered the one deck I ordered, the Solace Oracle. I wanted it for years. With the money or the gift card you gave me for my birthday, I finally ordered the Solace Oracle. It was like $35, okay? About a month later, they said the package was lost and they don't have any more in stock. So I'm like, okay. I'll get this Dark Goddess one. But I ordered a new. Like, I don't order used decks because other people's energy, and it's just not, it's extra cleansing. So I'm just like, new, always get all my decks new. And I get a used deck. It was clearly used. Not dirty, nothing wrong with it, but I knew it was used. So I messaged them. I'm like, you sent me a used deck. They're like, yeah, what condition was it in? I'm like, it doesn't matter unless it was in brand new, never been opened condition. Like, you owe me some money because the used ones are cheaper. Howie, what's up? Oh, I already pulled your card. Shows how much I'm paying attention. Meng Po, Carly, and this is the card of memory. Yeah, Carly, this is a good one. I've been using it in almost all of the personal since I got it. Everybody in the club get tipsy. Carly, Meng Po reminds you not to dwell on the past, but to pull inspiration from it. You've grown and gained experience and wisdom from both the good and the bad things that have happened in your life. Allow yourself to forgive past mistakes and instead focus on using joyful memories to fuel your motivation in the present. You are not the same person you once were. Life is always changing. Open your heart to new experiences. So, Carly, I do feel like this isn't so much about you forgiving others. I do feel so many of us are so quick to forgive others, my mom included, so she fits right in here. My mom, she fits right in with us because it's like this thing of like all of us, for the most part, if someone says they're sorry, a lot of the time, not in every single instance, obviously, but a lot of the time, that's kind of all it takes. I know for me, I just want to hear I'm sorry sometimes, right? But apology without change is manipulation. So if all it takes is someone saying, I'm sorry, then we're allowing ourselves over and over again to be manipulated. However, I feel like you, yes, I'm guilty of that for sure, are just like, well, they said they're sorry. I'm not going to be one of those people and dwell. I'm not going to be that person. No, there's a situation here where you deserve to be that person. This person has no right even having the audacity. It's audacious of them to even think saying they're sorry is even a start to fixing what they did. However, I don't even think that's what Meng Po here is talking about. This is forgiving yourself for something. And I think the realization is you are now, or have been recently, or will be in the very near future, blaming yourself for how others treat you. I went through this personally. I can always resonate with most of the cards that are pulled, where I was like, well, I allowed myself to be a doormat. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that people should be taking advantage of that. They should be helping you heal so you no longer see yourself as that, right? Somebody trained you to think that way. The universe is telling you there is an area in your life where abundance is almost impossible until you take a deeper look at yourself and forgive yourself for even perceived wrongs toward you, not towards others. Others need to forgive you for things you've done or perceived wrongs. You need to forgive you right now. There's something here that I feel like you've been putting so much time, effort, energy, possibly money, the resources into. And it's kind of like me with work. It's like, well, what am I doing? I have $12 to my name after streaming last week. What am I doing? Something is blocking this abundance, and you're going to find the answer to what that is if you sit there and think of all the things you blame yourself for on a daily basis. Again, not considering what you think you've allowed, or what others think what way others think you may have wronged them. What can you forgive yourself for being easily manipulated, for maybe being I can't think of the word, where it's like you're just to go with the flow because you don't want to make any waves or cause a stir. And that's like, why would you ask me if I'm clean publicly like that? And it makes people think that like there would be a reason you're asking. Yes, I am doing well. I am off the one medication, if that's what you mean, sir. I'm good. I'm just tired. Yeah, this is self-forgiveness, right, Carly? I think you're going to be able to deal with forgiving others and being able to understand when others maybe don't want to or can't forgive you, because we're all the a-hole in someone's story. Later on, you have to start to heal by forgiving yourself. And I was going to say, and start understanding that but there's really nothing more than just being like, you know what? I'm human. Like, forgive yourself for being human. I didn't take baths. No, I took showers. I just feel like some spy is going to see that and then send it to the person trying to screw me and be like, look, someone's asking if she used this week. Out of context. Always got to watch my back, yo. Oh, Black Dragon, I don't forgive you for not sharing your beacon. I never will. Who's next? Carly, it's not an easy thing. As soon as you forgive yourself for all of these things, there's going to be more things. And then once you be careful too, I'm glad you said that, who you talk to about this process, because I feel like somebody is going to like look at that. You have a very opportunistic, again, audacious person in your life that's going to look at this as, ooh, she's self-reflecting. Let me pin a few more things on her. Let me manipulate her into thinking a few more things are on her. Like, this is between you and your team. All right. Speak out loud to your spirit guides. I always liken it to a tag team wrestling match, right? Your spirit team cannot help you at all if you don't tag them in, if you don't call them in and ask them to do so. Free will blocks them from doing that. Negative entities they do have to, universal law, respect free will, but they find loopholes. The higher vibrational spirit teams obviously aren't going to do that. Let me get a tissue. Who's next?
Melissa Nicole, are you still here?
I've got my windows open, so.
Melissa.
No, not up. Don't do that. I forgive you. This once.
Who, me? Yeah, you. You're now.
I got you, girl. Who, me? Melissa, I'm going to use Alice the Wonderland Oracle. You're so disgusting. Oh, Johnny. That was funny. I try to pull myself off like screen while I'm blowing my nose, but then I have to like click like 8 buttons to get myself back on. It's allergy season. I'm old now. Yeah, we don't have as many people as we normally do in chat this week, which is, you know, that's cool. Get done a little earlier. Oh, you nasty. What's his name from Family Guy? Cleveland Brown. Melissa, you got card number 41. Forget who you are. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer. Defining you. Come on, guys. Don't act like you're above selling your socks, right? We've all had to make a buck at some point. You got it in the reverse, Melissa. What do you call yourself? The fawn said at last. Such a soft and sweet voice it had. I wish I knew, thought poor Alice. She answered rather sadly, nothing just now. Think again, it said. That won't do. Alice thought, but nothing came of it. Please, would you tell me what you call yourself? She said timidly. I think that might help a little, what you call yourself. I'll tell you if you'll come a little further on, the fawn said. I can't remember right here. So they walked on together through the wood, Alice with her arms clasped lovingly around the soft neck of the fawn, till they came out into another open field. Cowie, is that a question? All you have to do is talk to them. Like, legitimately and honestly and truly. Where did he go? Melissa, you are amidst a new experience, one in which you have no idea of who you are anymore. Paradoxically, this apparent loss of self is a beautiful gift. The loss of memory of the self, the absence of the conditioning that defines us, means we can approach new people and situations with an innocence and freshness. Forget what you tell yourself you are. Forget what others said you ought to be. Forget the enmity, the avoidance, the fear we live with far too often. Forget who you have been taught to be. Instead, reawaken the innocence of the soul. Unknow thyself. Accept the mystery of you within that open space, within that forest, where we are all returned to our ancient, most natural self. We can all be one again. In the reverse, believing everything you've been told you are, defining self through labels, cultural programming, rules and laws, missing out on beautiful, heart-opening opportunities to connect due to conformity and rigid beliefs. Nutslap, you're next. What's up, Kelly? John, did you get the Undertaker belt? I didn't get to watch it, but I've been thinking about it. Melissa, how? Yeah, Nutslap, I think you do. I think you need one. Melissa, how perfect is this for you right now, right? This is talking about conditioning, not just psychological and mental. This is spiritual conditioning. It's not only something, and I've been seeing this for a while with you, it's not only something you've experienced in this lifetime. This is generational. And not generational mean passed down from your ancestors. This is something you have dealt with in lifetime after lifetime. And that's why the universe is so urging you to please find a way out, right? The universe is saying, when you look deep down inside of yourself, so when you're not around your abuser, all right? When, just say you haven't been around your abuser for 2 weeks, who do you start to feel like you are compared to the second your abuser comes around again? Circles for an eternity. Well, several eternities, or several lifetimes, I should say, right? So this is a matter of you really understanding that I feel so repetitive with these readings with you sometimes, but it's just like you have to understand that this person knows. That's okay, Skyly. You can come and go as you please. This person knows your worth and your value. Narcissists, abusers, toxic people, they don't go after weak people. They go after people who either are what they want to be or who have something about themselves that the narcissist, toxic person, abuser wishes they had. There are also some of them who will go after a person that is a certain way that will hold that thought, that will, like, they want to be able, like, I broke her. That powerful, strong, independent woman, like, I broke her. Ha ha, right? In the next couple of weeks, I can't tell you to stay away from him. I have one little hair. That's why I keep doing this. There we go. I can't tell you to stay away from him. I know that sometimes that's not going to be possible. What I can tell you, though, is you really have to start surrounding yourself with people or one person who can tell you who you are when this person comes around and tells you what you're not and who you're not and who they think you are and who you need to be for them and who you should be and how, you will eventually, I know you don't believe it now, but you will eventually get to a point where you're like, where this person has no effect on you. But how much further along down the line that is really does depend on you. And it's not about having, strength. People are like, just be strong. Like, that's like someone telling an addict, like, don't use this weekend, just use your willpower. Eat a box of X-Lax and then use your willpower not to poop. Because that's what it's like telling an addict, just don't use, or telling an abuse victim, just stay away, just leave. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. But I feel like the more you're connected to who you really are on a spiritual level and why, and like learning why you had to go through all of this pain and abuse and neglect for so long is really going to be imperative in getting you away from him for good. Did I pull the STD card for Gemini? I usually take that card out of the deck because I don't want to have to explain it. But then I was like, you know what? That's so inauthentic. I need to keep all the cards in, and it was awkward. Melissa, I feel like the only thing that can really help you right now is, again, being around at least one person who can remind you that you're not everything he makes you out to be. And you don't need to feel what he makes you feel. There's more out there for you. There's love, there's support, there's romance, there's friendship and reciprocity and relationships where you're not abused, where you're respected and listened to and considered. And they may be a long way off for you, because I do feel like you kind of have to wine and dine yourself for a while and get to know who you really are. And I do feel like you are on the precipice of that. So don't rush into anything new. Okay. Obviously you don't want to do that. Don't lead anyone on. And don't, do your best to, at the very least, emotionally detach and tell yourself, I'm not that. I'm not this. I'm me. I'm this. I'm that. And keep going about your business. Frankie, what is up? Oh my gosh. It must be blast from the past night. Steven, is there a reason you're not on screen with me?
No, I had to go take care of business. I wasn't sure if I'd be back. That's
taking care of business.
Okay, I'll just leave.
Mr. J, now see, if you watched my shorts, my Oracle shorts, then you would know that I did pull the STD card for Gemini for the first week of April. No, you aren't spamming at all. I did not see a question though. Let's see. My email didn't work. Steven, can you put my email in the chat? That is very bizarre. That's definitely my email. Try it from here. That might be a comments thing. I may have maybe some kind of block or something. Yeah, because I always give people my email, when I want to connect with them personally, and then I'll, move from there. Who's next?
Nut slap.
Love you too, Miss Melissa. Nut slap, I can't promise, if the universe is going to tell you to get out there and get that girlfriend, then you must have missed the STDs for Gemini. It was awkward. Yeah, Frank. The best is when he and I and Steven and my 6-year-old are all playing Fortnite, and all you hear throughout the house is nut slap, nut slap, nut slap. All right, Sir Slap. Made for motion. Miss me with the STDs. Oh, faux show. Yeah, it is pretty funny. I had to teach him his real name, and I'm like, call him this, please. He doesn't, because he's used to it now. Slappy, humans were made for motion, but our lives now keep many of us still for too many hours every day. As a consequence of living a more sedentary life, we may develop a multitude of physical and mental health issues. Our minds and bodies become inflamed and vulnerable to dis-ease and distress. The message of this dancing goddess is that you need to make time for regular movement. It doesn't have to be an exercise. It is hard work to sustain and maintain a routine exercise session if you don't enjoy it. In fact, you're more likely to give up if it's not fun, and even more likely not to do it at all if you feel uncomfortable or in any way ashamed about it. Let go of shame, dear soul. Know that you are divine. But it is important to love your body, and your body needs you to move and keep it strong. If traditional exercise is something you avoid, then dance while you clean the house, work in the garden, go for a swim or a bike ride. If you're stuck in an office, try sneaking in some stretches. You can be seated and still keep your body moving. Keep your brain happy and active by keeping your body happy and active. So, Nutslap, I don't necessarily get that this is saying exercise, because I do think you move a lot. I know you work pretty hard. What I'm seeing, though, is like forward movement, as in moving forward, right? I feel like you've been kind of standing still in life for a really long time, just going with the flow and waiting for things to happen. You are a Pisces for the most part, so we tend to do that. Oh, little Wyatt. How old is Wyatt now? You definitely do dance and clean the house. Don't lie. I saw you getting down on Fortnite. This is talking about forward movement in life. Like, how long are you going to stay stuck, still, and stagnant? And I don't mean that like your life isn't good, or that, you have all these crazy problems or things that are wrong, but everybody has issues, and everyone has. Thank you, Mr. J. Wow, that was a while ago. Everybody has things that they resent, or that they're miserable with, or that they want to be done differently. I just feel like the universe is opening your eyes more to opportunities around you. You've got to take chances, you've got to take risks, and you've got to take leaps of faith. Okay. One other thing I want to say to you, I've had to say this before in the past few months to a couple people. I know Blue Crossroads got this message at some point, or at least something similar. Please pay attention to your body in the next 2 weeks, where like if something's just not feeling right, go get it checked out. Go to urgent care or the ER if you don't have insurance. Like, there is something. Okay, Skyly, I got you. Thank you so much. I knew it was the comments. If something just doesn't feel right, like you've got a stomach ache that doesn't go away, your eye hurts. I see it as this like tiny little thing that's kind of annoying, that you're like, meh, it'll go away eventually. But like, it's going to end up progressing into something else, like something much worse. Whereas if you just got it checked in the first place, you'd have been fine. This is like the 5th time I've had to give this message in the last 6 months. Really pay attention to things that feel off physically, because I feel like you could be getting sick, as in I'm seeing like vomiting, food poisoning type energy, or I'm seeing you just kind of ignoring a pain, thinking that it'll go away. We're not kids anymore. you know, there's something here that I think you really do need to get checked out, but there's no way you would ever think to get it checked out until it starts agitating you. So just know I'm going to be on that, but if I hear you say you have any type of pain in the next couple of weeks. Who's next?
My daughter, baby dragons.
Baby dragon. I'm using Oracle of the Universe. If you donated and your name wasn't called, let us know by putting a $sign. If you didn't donate, can't donate, and still want a reading, start letting us know so we can make that list up. And guys, I urge you, please, to help me make money for the work that I do if you can. I know it's not possible for everybody. I'm not going to think any less of you if you can't or don't. I'm just asking because it can't hurt. If you can donate whatever you can to PayPal or Cash App, I would appreciate it. And this isn't just for the people in here. This is for the people who watch afterwards. I feel like the least the people who watch afterwards can do is like the video. I'll have 40 people in here. I will get 42 likes and that's it. And 200 and some odd views. They're not even liking the videos. Skyly, that's perfectly okay. There are people who cover for the people who can't. And, you know, I never want to not give people a reading because they can't pay. I do get frustrated, but my lack of being paid for work extends beyond this stream. It's not just this stream. It just, this stream is like one of the only chances I have to make money. So I do bring it up when I can. You can still get a reading. Just whoever doesn't or can't donate, just waits till the end. And somebody will usually give me a few bucks to cover the people who can't. That's all. All right, baby dragon. You got the constellation Taurus, and it is the card of sisterhood. Card number 2. Nomeo is missing. Aunt Edna's missing. And that's possibly when I'm done here. Skyly, no problem at all. And thank you for being such an amazing support in other ways. I mean, you're commenting on every video, you're watching what I do. Guys, I know most of you do that. That goes a really long way for me as well to get my videos pushed out. So I do appreciate it. I don't like to make it all about money. I do have to mention it. So, and you know how uncomfortable it kind of makes me. So Kelly, you're going to be after, give me a minute. Baby dragon. The Taurus constellation has been known by people since the Bronze Age. It was used to mark the sun's position during the spring equinox and so appeared in art and on cave walls. Any constellation viewed for this long has stories, and certainly the Greek stories of the bull are many. It's most commonly thought that the bull in the constellation is the Cretan bull sent by Poseidon to King Minos. Poseidon sent the most exquisite white bull to the king with the express wish that it be sacrificed in his name. But King Minos decided to keep the bull for himself and sacrifice a lesser animal instead. Poseidon was not happy. And we know what became of this, right? How the Minotaur was made. The king's wife, Queen Pasiphae, was loved by the king, and it is here that the god got his revenge. He sent temporary madness upon the queen, where she lusted after the animal. She strangely had a full-sized fake cow made out so she could couple with it. Wow. She later gave birth to the Minotaur, the half-man, half-bull. She was destroyed reputationally and was a source of scorn and embarrassment to all the kingdom. It was her sister, though, the famous Circe, who came to her offering support and magical herbs to keep the Minotaur peaceful. Taurus is also the home of the famously bright open star cluster, the Pleiades, the seven sisters. Maia, Electra, Taygete, Solano, Alcyone, Sterope, Merope were the daughters of the Titan Atlas and the Oceanid Pleione. In Greek mythos, Atlas was asked to hold up the sky, and when he did, Orion began to harass and pursue his daughters. To protect them, Zeus transformed them into white doves. The seven sisters are a part of many cultures, including Viking and Polynesian, where the stars were used for navigational and ceremonial practices. Andean cultures celebrate the return of the seven stars in the sky at harvest time. The Berbers of East Africa call them the daughters of the night and use them to tell of the seasons. Indigenous Australians in the western and desert areas tell of 7 sisters fleeing unwelcome advances of a man, represented by some of the features of Orion. As well as many stars, the constellation contains the Crab Nebula, a supernova remnant, which is a spectacular feature. Baby Dragon, I support the feminine, the other half that holds up the sky. Wow. So there are a couple things here, and I hate to even like be saying this, right? I feel like this is a delicate thing. It's kind of a delicate thing to say, so bear with me, guys. Baby Dragon, there could be someone in your life, or it could be you, that is going to have to deal with the unwanted sexual advances of a man. Okay. The universe is saying, I'm sorry, like I said, this is kind of a sensitive subject, so I'm kind of going to breeze through it. And if you want to talk about it more, you can privately message me or your dad, and we can do like a 3-way chat or whatever. There's more to the message, but this in particular, it's like, if this is outside of you, like someone you know, someone close to you, just remember this message that I'm giving you right now. It's not that the person who experienced this is lying. It's that something within this is being taken either out of context or to an extreme, right? So it's just important to hear both sides. I feel like whatever this is not as bad as it's going to initially seem, and going to be a lot easier to work out, all right? Now, with that being said, I feel as though, Baby Dragon, you really have to get in touch with your divine feminine. You have been doing everything for everyone, being all things to all people, and really taking on this masculine energy. Now, while I personally do believe in traditional roles for men and women, that's okay. You don't have to. That's just what I believe for the most part, right? I feel like you've kind of have to take on all roles in your life. You don't have that form of support right there in front of you, like in your household. And I'm not saying your husband doesn't do anything, that he doesn't provide something, that he doesn't support you. But I think for the most part, in some areas, you do at least feel very alone, and like you have to do everything. You're always the one doing. It's not selfish to want a return on what we're doing. It's not selfish to expect a thank you, or for someone to say, nope, you know what, Baby Dragon, you did the dishes the last 3 weeks, and you cooked the meals, and you cleaned up. Let me do those dishes for you. That's not selfish. The universe wants you to reconnect with your divine feminine. That means doing, in this case, it doesn't always mean this, but in this case, doing more things that you enjoy that would be considered more feminine on the energetic scale. Taking long baths, taking long walks, maybe journaling, whatever you do to make yourself feel feminine, right? And like a strong, powerful woman, but only aimed at yourself, if that makes sense, right? It might make you feel strong and powerful to be able to provide this, that, and the other for your kids, and provide this for your husband. Like, no, this is focused inward. All of your divine feminine energy being focused inward on yourself and not feeling bad about it. And if someone has a problem with it, guess what? That is their problem 1,000,000%. Baby Dragon, do not be guilted, shamed, manipulated, anything like that in the next couple of weeks when you decide you need a timeout to do what you need to do for you. Because this recuperation, rejuvenation, rest, regeneration is going to affect in the most positive ways the things you're still going to be doing for everyone else. You need a timeout. You need to take a break. The universe doesn't want to hear there's no time. You have to. If you don't take time for your physical well-being or for your spiritual well-being, you will be forced to take time for your physical illness, right? If you don't take care of spiritual dis-ease, you will be forced to have to deal with physical disease. Not saying you're going to get a disease, I just mean sickness. There is illness coming onto you and your energy if you do not take a step back, start delegating some of the tasks that you do complete throughout the day. It doesn't mean you can't do anything for anyone. You need to start delegating. People need to start pulling their own weight. And I know I've said this to you before. It's getting serious now. You are going to reach literal burnout. In the next couple of weeks, make no apologies for doing what you need to do for yourself. You're still going to be there for everyone else, just to a lesser extent. It is what it is. You don't have to be all things to all people all the time. Nobody should feel like they have to be that. And if you do, there's a miscommunication somewhere, honey, that you have to address. Who's next?
Kelly Lewis.
Kelly, I'm going to use Victoria Francis Gothic Oracle. Card number 12. Drowned pride, letting go and release. Kelly, you may have experienced recent emotional upheaval. Your tears are still on the surface, but it's time to start looking ahead. Dwelling on the past, thinking about what could have been will only hold you back. There's a part of you which is desperate to let go and move forward, but your disappointment and holding on to the past is stopping you from moving forward. It's time to reveal who you really are. You're not a victim of someone else's emotional control. You're a strong and beautiful person with an abundance of opportunity open to you. Take the first step to release and let go and be the person you want to be rather than who you feel others expect you to be. Your greatest gift is to show the world that you are not a victim, rather a strong and determined person ready to be the best you can be. This is a running theme tonight, and as we near the end, as always, it's just this repetition of message. Kelly, you're another person tonight that I feel somebody is putting a lot of expectations on you, on how you're supposed to behave, what you should be doing with your life, what you should be doing for a job, how you should be dressing, talking, speaking, acting. Somebody is putting a lot of pressure on you in at least some area of your life. I feel like you've kind of gone with the flow. I'll give you an example. I know this woman that I knew from addiction, where she Ghost, who's next? Where she met this guy who was much, much older than her, and she really adored and looked up to him. She thought, he's older, he's got his act together. So whenever he would tell her, oh, you shouldn't wear that, it doesn't look right, or you shouldn't say that, or you shouldn't think that because this is what you should think, she believed him. She trusted in him, was like, I respect this person cares about me. And it turned out the whole time this person was a controlling narcissist who was just trying to mold her into the perfect victim. The true story. It took years and years and years for her to finally realize what was happening. I don't feel like it's that kind of deep with you, but it's deep enough that you're starting to notice that somebody keeps moving the goalpost, right? In order for me to do this for you or feel this way about you, you have to do A, B, and C. So you go out and you very proud and confidently, you do A, you do B, you do C. Then they're like, well, what about D, E, and F? And you're like, oh, I must have forgot that. And you go and you do D, E, and F. Then before you know it, you go back to them 12 times and they've got you through Z and back to A again. And you're like, wait a minute. You said all I had to do was this. Oh, so now you're questioning me. Now, after all this, you don't trust. It's very, very manipulative. I feel like, though, as you open your eyes to this manipulation, there's still a party that's very unsure, because I think you're holding on to this hope that after all the effort you've put towards this, after all the work you put in, Ghosty, who's next? After all the work you've put into whatever this is, there's still hope that it wasn't all for nothing, that this is going to go the way the other person or other people involved were promising you. I do feel like you need to come to terms with the fact that somebody or his future faked you, used you, manipulated you, taken advantage of your kindness and your trust and just you in general. It's going to be hard for you to pick up the pieces from this, okay? And before you can get to that point, Kelly, you have to fully accept that this person is not who you thought they were, and that everything you thought about this whole relationship, situationship was a lie. I hate even saying this. It gives me chills. There's going to be no moment of clarity. There's going to be no real, sincere apology. This is painful. But I feel like the faster you accept it, the faster you can move forward from it. Who's making advances? What's up, Deirdre? It's so good to see you. All I saw was Blue put some bunnies there. Oh, but wabbits. Okay. Who's next? Kelly, I feel for you. I've been through this many times. I caution you, just take it slow. You know, if you slide back into those old belief patterns, give yourself a break. This is not something humans are really supposed to be dealing with on a regular basis, right? And when we are, we have to remember to give ourselves just as much grace as we're willing to give this other person who actually is in the wrong and abusing us, okay?
You can't speak now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're at that part of the list now.
Okay.
Okay. So Batmom came in first, but I know you have two people that are new here. You have a couple people new here. Do you want to go ahead and do
No, just do it in the order of the list. How many people are there?
The people that actually say hi and show up in chat. 11
people, and then 3 timestamps.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're
12 plus Black, because he's always last before we do timestamp.
So 12 plus 3 timestamps.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
If you're in here and you want a reading, I know Batmom does, I know Skyly does, I know Black Dragon does. Anybody else, just say yes or okay, and we will check you off on the list. And we're going to get through these. We're going to breeze right through them. And then I'm going to do some yoga and go out and get my mail. Guys, please don't forget to donate if you can. This is how I get paid. If you can't, no worries. There's always next time. Johnny, do you want a reading? Frank, are you still here? And do you want a reading? Cowie, do you want a reading? I'm trying to remember everybody. Deirdre, okay. Deirdre, just hang tight. I hope you're feeling better, by the way. Okay. All right, let me just start.
Just read the list. Batmom, Starlight Journey, Roger Blair, Skylar and Josh, Ryan, Smoochie, Mr. J, Cowie, Frank the Tech Tank, and Deedles.
Okay. Frank, yeah, no worries. Thank you for coming in and showing your support. Tell Brandy Love I said hi and give that baby a kiss for me. Get out of that slap. I don't think the Starlight person's here. Skyly, let us know if Josh wants one as well, if he's still here. We're just trying to kind of narrow it down because I'm not going to take any more after this. All right, Batmom, this is you. I got you, Skyly. You're coming up. Don't worry. You won't have to wait much longer. I'm just doing it in order that you guys were here. And don't forget, everybody, I do weeklies in the shorts. So they're up to 3 minutes now instead of like the 1 minute really quick breeze through. I'm doing up to 3 minutes each week. And then a monthly general usually. All right. Batmom, you got the Rook, card number 51. So Miss Deedles here is my friend Deirdre that I was telling you guys about, who fell, had a completely accidental fall and broke both of her wrists at the same time. I'm very happy to see you in here. And I still have some gifts for you. I know you're not working. I know the box thing is on hold, but I do have some stuff for you that I would like to eventually get to you that I bought for the next one. So I'm just going to give it to you. All right, Bat Mom, you got the Rook. If the Rook appears to you right side up, resolve the resistance you have to reinforcement, help, assistance, and support. Take the Rook as a message that the universe is trying to provide you with all of those things. What is the specific kind of assistance you need at this time? We've all seen that scene in the movie where the main character is doing their best, and yet it seems as if their best just isn't good enough. Then, right at the last second, reinforcements arrive and their power to triumph is amplified. This is the medicine possessed by the Rook. The Rook comes to tell you that you've got to stop trying to go it alone and potentially find someone with more power in the situation you are in to fend for you. The Rook loves to step in for someone smaller, as if to say, you mess with them, you mess with me. You may expect yourself to accomplish things on your own, but imagine what you could do with a little collaboration. Batmom, with others, you might just be able to create an outcome far greater than you could have imagined on your own. The Rook encourages you to get a different perspective. In order to see where help exists, to seek it out, or simply allow it, you can't be viewing it through a negative lens. Batmom, this is so true, right? You, even if you're like, I can't ask for help. You know, some people just can't ask for help. We've been trained not to, because every time we ask for help, we don't get it anyway. I'm not saying that's me. I have a lot of people that will help me now. I cannot say I have lack of help in most areas of my life. Where I can go to someone and say, I'm feeling this way, and have someone, you know, I'm surrounded by a lot of really great people, most of whom are in here, right? My family, of course. But Batmom, even if you don't want to ask for it, I feel like in the next 2 weeks, you really do have to accept help when it's being offered. There's a situation going on that is out of your control, but it's a situation that involves and regards you. So if you literally don't have the capacity to fix this situation, what are you going to do? Just let it continue to fester, continue to allow it. And I'm not judging you, because I do this too. It's like you're procrastinating, like, oh, you know, just a couple more weeks and I'll be able to fix this. I just got to, while you're doing that, figuring out how to fix this on your own, you're turning down some real help that could be so beneficial to you. I do feel like this is something deeply personal to you. It's not you helping someone else. This is something you need to help yourself with, something you're trying to figure out, or something. And number one, you don't want to talk to too many people about it, if anyone, because it's a very personal, private matter. Or you feel some type of way about the fact that it happened to you, maybe embarrassed or, you know, angry with yourself. There's some self-loathing here that you're like, I don't want everyone knowing this about me, like, you know, or that I couldn't handle this, or that this fell apart, or, you know, it's like saying to your parents on your 18th birthday, haha, F you pieces of garbage, I'm out of here and you won't see me. And then a week later having to call them to move back home because your boyfriend abandoned you and you have no money, right? Like, I feel like it's one of those things. You've burned some bridges, that's for sure. But the help that's coming into you isn't going to come from someone from your past whom you've burned a bridge with. This is the universe sending someone, at least one person, possibly 2 or 3, to help you first by letting you know that they understand what you're going through, because I think they've either been there too or they've dealt with something very similar. Okay? The universe is begging you to please give this person / these people a chance to just help a little bit. You can trust them. And I do feel like whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, obtain, attain, achieve, etc., is going to happen so much faster and not boil even more out of control if you would just allow that iota of trust to let these people or this person help you. Skyly, don't worry. We'll be here for a few more minutes at least, probably at least till 10. Who's next?
I don't think Roger Blair, are you still here?
Roger doesn't usually get them anymore. The Skyline person, I'm pretty sure, left.
Then Skylar and Josh.
Skyly,
whatever.
Josh didn't answer yet. So we're going to do Skyly. For you, I'm going to use the ancestor spirit. He said yes. All right. He'll be next. I'm going to do yours first. Thank you so much for coming in and for all the support you've been showing me. This is usually how I meet most people in my comments. There's just an energy about some people that I feel the need to respond and reply to them. And this is exactly why. Yeah, where's Julie girl? I do have to get in touch with her this weekend because she ordered a box. I sent it to her and it had some things I had to explain to her, kind of like how to use them. I told her to send me a list, but it's probably easier if I just give her a quick call. All right, so Skyly, this is yours. Jeez. Respect your physical body. Detox, rejuvenate, and relax. Thank you, Miss Batmom. She says, Gemma knows what she's doing. Girl is always on spot. That's because I'm just the messenger, you know? I have no say in what comes through, and I really do appreciate that, Batmom. Thank you. Okay. Skyly, it's time to pay more attention to your physical surroundings, both your body and the environment where you live and or work. Your mortal body is just as important as your spiritual energy. It is important to look after the vessel that carries your soul. Consider how you contribute to your health and well-being. Also, look at the energy where you live and work. Create a sacred space so you can go home to relax and recharge. The divinatory meaning, attend to your physical, emotional, and mental space. Like a buildup of dust, toxins, thoughts, ideas, and feelings can accumulate and start to dull your energy. I love you too. You're so sweet. Create a bubble in your routine where you can process and release stress, emotions, or physical impurities. Sweat it out in a sauna or with a walk or run in the fresh air. Notice what you are consuming and limit the processed foods, chemicals, or negativity even that you are taking in. A cleansing diet or skin treatment will have benefits for your whole self. So I don't feel like, I don't like when the cards specifically start mentioning, oh, I'm like, who is that? And then I'm like, oh, he's talking to Skyly. Josh. I don't like when the cards, because the cards are written by a person, right? And I don't like when they get into like what you're eating. What I will say is you definitely need a new stress management technique. If you don't feel like you do, if you're like, you know what, I have normal average amount of stress, not really much going on, be prepared, because in the next 2 weeks, I feel like there are going to be some things that come up that you may not know how to deal with. Now, you have a great support system. You have someone who loves you and cares for you, and I'm sure will do anything for you. But this is going to be something you have to deal with, Skyly, that you're going to have to deal with more for yourself than what Joshua or anyone else can do for you. Now, of course, he'll be able to help you through whatever this is. This is not saying something bad's going to happen, all right? This is saying when stress comes up, be careful of how you're dealing with it. Because if you're putting it to the side, like most of us do, and saying, I've got to work right now, I'll deal with that later, or I can't focus on that right now, I've got to do this, eventually it accumulates. And it really is energetically like our brains have aneurysms. It's like our spiritual energy just going poof, and then it's all over the place and we're no longer connected. All right. I've seen it happen. It's crazy. Find things to do in the next couple of weeks. Just work them into your daily routine little by little until finally they become a part of your routine. So for example, I started off doing 5 minutes of yoga about 4 years ago. I just had to eck it into my day. I had a toddler at the time. He didn't go to school. I never got out of the house. I don't drive. There's no public transportation. I live in the middle of the woods and my husband's never home. It was me and the toddler. I would have to take 5 minutes of his 25-minute nap and force myself to do yoga. Then it got to the point where I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning to do the 10 minutes of yoga I was doing. Now I'm at 2 20-minute sessions of yoga that are just a part of my routine. I don't not do them. That's how I release and relieve my stress. The universe is saying it's great to have people around you and things that you normally do to kind of get through such stressful situations. But I feel like you've been letting way too much stress build up in the past few weeks and months, that it's all going to come to a screeching halt if you don't find an outlet, and soon. In the next couple of weeks, do more for yourself, Skyly. Do more things that make you feel good as opposed to things you absolutely must do. And in the next couple of weeks, only do the things you absolutely must do. If you don't feel like doing something, listen, the act of saying no in and of itself isn't being unkind. You're allowed to say, I really don't want to help you move. Or, you know what? No, I don't want to go out to that girls' night. You know what I mean? It's okay to say that. If somebody is going to not be your friend or be mean or rude to you simply because you don't feel like doing something for them or with them, guess what? Mind over matter. Those who mind don't matter. Those who matter don't mind. If someone really has a problem with you putting yourself first, that's the universe showing you who's meant to be in your life and who isn't. The next 2 weeks are going to be extremely stressful, but I feel like it's only going to feel that way because you've let so much stress build up. You're going to get through it. Again, I'm not seeing anything like totally detrimental happening that's like world changing, but I do feel like if you start little by little incorporating going for a walk or writing in a journal, something that's just for you, it'll eventually become part of your routine. And there you have your getting rid of stress. Maybe you don't even feel you have every single day by continuing this ritual. Joshua, sorry. Oh my God, I have such a hard time saying no. I've gotten better with it in the past year or so, but I struggle. I don't want people to be mad with me. I don't want to upset anybody. But it gets to the point where I'm just so uncomfortable. I'm using angels and ancestors, Joshua. You're welcome. All right, this one popped out. The animal guardian. Joshua, trust the powerful animal spirit within to learn more about yourself and your talents. The animal guardian is the card that represents the angels of the animal kingdom. Animals are angels of nature who have incredible lessons to offer and medicine that can support you on your spiritual journey and help you to survive some of your greatest challenges. The animal guardian card depicts a tribal angel being held and supported by her animals. She has a love for them and they love her, demonstrating how incredibly connected nature is with the spiritual realms. Yeah, but Johnny, I've known you since I was 7. So, that's kind of like playing the odds at that point. Joshua, you have a powerful animal within that can be wild, protective, instinctive, and even calm. Animals don't second guess how they feel. They just express it, and you can learn from that. When this card arises, it's important to connect with how you really feel and how you want to feel and what you really need. Take time to connect with your animal energy and express it naturally. Let even the fiercest energy move through you before returning to your natural state. It will teach you a lot about your gifts and how you can grow. This is kind of oh, thank you. Yeah, I do too, Skyly. And we have to unlearn that because that is not the case. Okay. We do have to really unlearn that behavior. That it's selfish not to give someone our last or to say, no, you know what? I'm making time for me today. I can't help you with that. You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy what we've been conditioned to believe and how it really negatively affects us. Josh, in the next 2 weeks, it's similar to what Skyly's going through. But a little bit different. This is you not holding emotions in for the most part. I see that, you may have something you do to relieve stress, or maybe your job itself, maybe it's something physical. I don't know. There's something that you do. I know for me, it's yoga and video games. You're not at the point where she's at with relieving the stress. You are just like getting to the point emotionally where it's like, how much more can you put up with before you snap and say something in some situation in your life? I feel like you're not being treated properly. This could be an employer. This could be a family member, a neighbor. It could literally be anybody where it could be a stranger that you meet next week and you just end up snapping on that person. You're not being treated the right way, but you feel like saying something about it is rude. Like Skyly and I were just discussing. Oh no, Joshua, no, trust me, you're going to get through this. It's not rude to stand up for yourself. I'll say to someone, oh, that's real great. You're a grown adult bullying another adult online. How does it feel to be a grown man body shaming a woman on the internet? And they'll be like, oh no, you just, you think so much of they try to twist it to make it that I'm wrong for defending myself. I feel like that's what a lot of people have done to you in your life up to this point, where it's like everything's always been made to be Joshua's fault. Someone could tell you to go F yourself, but they did it because, you know what I mean? We don't control other people's actions in that way. right? We can only control our reactions and our responses. How someone else treats us, it is entirely up to them. Now, it should be we get treated the way we treat people, but it just doesn't work that way outside of the light worker alignment community. Oh, thank you, Black Dragon. In the next couple of weeks, it's really important that you defend yourself. This doesn't mean you have to be rude or even nasty. You don't have to lower yourself to this person's energetic vibrational level, okay? But what you can do is just say no, stand on business, and do not be manipulated into thinking you've done anything wrong by doing so. Your team right now is showing me, like, think of this in the back of your head when the time comes, and it will in the next couple of weeks, where you are going to want so badly to defend yourself. Don't curse, don't yell, don't scream, because then that person is going to turn around and say, look how you're acting. And you know what? It becomes about your actions rather than the way they've been treating you to begin with, right? That's what manipulators and narcissists and toxic people do. I'm not saying that's what your brother is, but whoever this is has that energy. Stand up for yourself, know you're doing the right thing, and then walk away. Once you get used to defending yourself in that way, cool, calm, collected, just giving back, matching energy instead of being everyone's whipping boy and doormat, trust me, your life choices are the choices you make in life are even going to change because of this, okay? Because this is you having the confidence to know that you are a deserving being, not someone who was put here for someone else to pick on. Like, we're not in high school anymore, right? I don't know how old you are, but I don't think you're in high school. But either way, you have the right to defend yourself and stand up for yourself to this person. If they don't like it, too bad. And if they decide to really go at you, they can suffer the consequences of their actions, right? If somebody, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if somebody physically assaults you and you call the cops, that's not your fault that they're going to jail. That's their fault. And don't be manipulated into thinking it's yours. Skyly, you're hearing this, so make sure you remind him of this, because it's going to come up in the next couple of weeks. And I think it's going to be like the final straw, where he hopefully very confidently says, you know what? I'm not putting up with this anymore. Say whatever you want. If you have to live with the person or see each other often, it is perfectly okay to ignore somebody, ghost somebody. We don't owe anyone explanations. We don't owe anyone closure. Anyone who misuses our energy, they don't have a right to it anymore. You don't owe them access. You don't owe him access. Put him in his place.
Smoochie, did you want one?
We should have had this figured out by now. Whoever Stephen called from the list, if you want a reading, let us know. I know Mr. J wants one. I've got 3 timestamps. Black Dragon wants one.
Deedles wants one.
Miss Deedles wants one. Who's after Smoochie? I'll do them while she...
Just go ahead. Okay, no, thank you. Go ahead and then do Mr. J.
Mr. J, all right. I'm going to use Halloween. Where did Blue go? Are you still cleaning? Oh, Skyly, I love you too. I'm so glad to have met you. Deedles, right? I think more people need to hear that in their lives. I think so many of us, being light workers and spiritually elevated beings, have this mindset of like, we're not deserving, right? Or that, we're strong enough that we can take it. We weren't put here for that. And I'm happy when I see people step into their power. And on the rare occasion when I manage to be able to do it myself, it feels really good. Hey, I don't choose the deck. You're welcome, guys. There he is. Johnny, you got Mummy, the card of change. The ancient Egyptians took death very seriously. Death was seen, not seen, as many of us see it. I think it should say death was not seen as many of us see it, a finality to be dreaded, but as just the beginning of a new life and often eternal life in a better place, the quote-unquote afterlife. I hope so, Skyly. That is my main goal. Johnny, the practice of honoring and preserving the body through a complex process of mummification was central to ancient Egyptian culture. This was not just a physical embalming process, but a carefully enacted ritual process that ensured preservation in the next world. Many other cultures also mummified their dead, including the Incas, the Argentinians, the Maoris, and many of the cultures of the Torres Strait Islands. In our modern horror genres, the mummy has become an icon. Should you pull the moaning mummy card from the deck, know that change is inevitable and that no matter how hard you try, things will not be preserved exactly the same way. The card also indicates that this change will be for the better. The endings, the closed doors, the barriers, that's just a healthy pause and an indication that a change of tactic is needed. You're not cursed. You've just developed a pattern. You can take control and change it. So that sounds interesting. I don't know what that means. Johnny, what this is saying is a major, major change is around the corner for you. I feel like at first you're going to be resistant to it. It's not that it's going to be like you're looking at it as a bad thing. I just feel like you're looking at it as a lot, right? This is a lot to deal with all at once. So that's why the universe is saying in the next few weeks, just prepare yourself, kind of get yourself used to the idea of doing something different in your life. Now, I do feel you have an inkling as to what this has to do with thinking of changing a job, doing something different on your social medias. I know you're not moving out of dad's house, but moving, there's something here that you are thinking about, maybe getting married, having a family. There's something here that you're like, I wish that I would have put more effort into this when I was younger so that I could be doing this now. Whatever it is, saving more money. I don't know. The universe is saying, whatever that is, get used to the idea of things changing slowly, but surely over a small period of time. So in the next couple of weeks, you're going to start seeing these rare opportunities for you to really go out on a limb and take a chance and take a risk where normally you wouldn't, because you're like, well, that would be a lot to be at stake for whatever reason in your life. So I'll wait for the next opportunity when I'm more prepared. You want to be prepared for whatever this is. And the fact of the matter is the universe is like, sorry, but the time for preparation has passed. Now this is going to be thrown into your lap and you're going to have to deal with it however you will. But if you deal with it by looking at it as a positive, as something to be happy about, to be worked into your life in a positive way, it'll not only bring you more happiness, obviously, because you're looking at it as a good thing, it'll also make it move a lot quicker to your benefit, rather than you sitting there procrastinating for weeks or months, like, what do I do now? Embrace whatever this is, even if it's overwhelming, because at the end of the day, the more you embrace it and the faster you embrace it, the more overwhelmingly positive it's going to be. Whatever this is may not happen very quickly or in the next few months, but the initial stages of this big change in your life that you feel like you should have or could have focused on more when you were younger, again, it could be literally anything. You're going to start seeing synchronicities and signs from the universe in the next few weeks. He's really going to be focused on it. And then it's going to be like opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. Just take them and run with them. Take leaps of faith. Know that the universe always has your best interests at heart. And the universe can see the big picture when you can't. So if something seems like it's overwhelming, if it's too much, if it's not for you, if you're unsure about it, remember that the universe knows better than you do, because you can only see what's in front of you for the most part. Good. I'm glad. Who's next?
Beatles.
Miss Deirdre, I'm using Dark Goddesses. Kakiang Wuti. Connection. Hi. Now is the time to reflect on your role within your community. Do you feel like you belong and are supported? How can you support your community in return? Connection to something larger than ourselves strengthens, inspires, and nourishes us. This goddess is reminding you how beautiful it is to be part of the web of life. So I feel like you could be feeling maybe a little bit lonely, alone, left out of something. Based just on your injuries. You know, you've been in the hospital, you had to go to the recovery center, you're not able to work at all, I don't think. You can't do a lot, right? Having your son there to take care of you, it's wonderful. But I feel like there are times, and if it hasn't yet, it will be in the next week or two, where you feel kind of less than who you were. And this is the universe saying, like, no, this is why we have community. This is why we have family. This is why we do for others in a certain, not like we just do for others so they can do for us in return, but like in some sense it is why we do for others, so that when we need help, encouragement, support, whatever the case may be, we have people to turn to. The universe is saying, don't beat yourself up for needing the help you would so readily give to whoever's helping you, right? And your son doesn't mind at all. I see no negative energy coming off of him at all towards you. But I think it could be just you feeling like, you know, I'm not doing anything. You went back to work today? I was just there yesterday. Like, just not feeling like you're measuring up because maybe you've missed something. Maybe things have changed at work, or I just feel like you're going through this really deep, profound change, Deirdre, because of what happened to you. You're looking at things differently. You had a really nasty fall with some pretty severe and serious injuries. You're not just going to snap back to who you used to be so quickly. I feel like anything that's changed around you that you're going to be noticing has changed for the better. Just keep being who you are. You're amazing. You're lovely. You're beautiful inside and out. You're giving. You're kind. I mean, I can go on and on. Keep being that. I always feel when it comes to that place, to your job, feeling badly. I was going to say that is awfully quick. I feel like when it comes to your job or some personal area of your life, there's always something negative around you, like somebody aiming some negativity at you. This is a normal feeling for you to be feeling badly, feeling like you're taking advantage. The universe is saying, do not push yourself to try to do more. You're going to end up, one, physically damaging yourself more, mentally and emotionally. Instead, take this time to become more spiritually aligned. Do all the things you never had time for when you were working all those crazy hours and, you know, your bosses were using and abusing you, because you know that they do. It's just still common practice in that place. The universe is telling you, if you utilize this time that you have the right way, to the best of your ability, you know, obviously without the use of your wrists, it's pretty dang hard, but you have all the time in the world now, basically. So what are you doing with that? Get up, get moving, do what you can without overdoing, and take up a hobby, Deirdre. I know that sounds very specific and I don't know why it's coming in, but it's like there's something you've always wanted to learn about, look into, do. You have the time now, and you're going to regret it if you don't. Now, just like I said to Mr. J, Johnny over there, you're going to start seeing signs and synchronicities as to what this pertains to, what it entails, you know, who it's about, what's surrounding it in the next couple of weeks. Go with the flow of it. Don't overexert yourself. Don't overdo it. And don't do it because you feel, you know, you've got to get back on your feet quicker, because you're not burdening anybody. The people who are helping you and will help you are happy to do it. Give to yourself for once and allow others to do things for you. You never do that. You're always the one giving. You're always the one sacrificing. You don't have to do that now. This is the perfect opportunity for you to do for Deirdre and let others do the heavy lifting, the hard work, so to speak, literally and figuratively. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, good. Needed to hear this. For sure, though. That's kind of a deep message. Take the help. It's being aimed at you with love and positivity. You know, you're actually doing a good thing for the people who are helping you by giving them an opportunity to give back, right? And I think a lot of them realize this. All right, who's next?
Black Dragon.
All right, Black Dragon, then Lotus, Casey, and Alexander. Black Dragon, I'm using Ancestor Spirit. That's baby. I have one of those in GTA. You're welcome, sweetie. Black, you got spirit guides, insight, guidance, and purpose. Black Dragon, your spirit guides are calling you. They want to give you clear messages to help you on your true path. You may not be able to go on a traditional vision quest, but you can embark on a spiritual journey. Learn more about who your spirit guides are and explore ways of communicating with them. Make attempts to hear, feel, see, and sense your spirit guides. If you are unsure of how to communicate with your spirit guides, meditate and ask for a sign about who your guides are. Ask for help from a spiritual friend or mentor. Divinatory meaning. It's the right time to connect with your spirit guides. You're ready now. Don't be afraid because your spirit guides are already guiding and protecting you. Pay attention to any object you feel drawn to, like a crystal, a rock, a feather, which you can keep as a spiritual talisman. If you find a special item, keep it safe and use it in your spiritual practice. So, Black, I don't think I really have to explain much of this reading, except to say your spirit guides are trying to get a specific and direct message to you that you may not be putting together right now. The universe right here with this card is calling you in the next couple of weeks to take the time to communicate with them, whether it be through automatic writing, journaling, astral traveling, guided meditations while you sleep. There is some way here that your team is trying to get the downloads to you, and you're just not aware of it. You will become aware of it with the more ways that you try to open yourself up to this. You're a very spiritually serious person. At least I feel that in your energy. I don't feel like you're going to have too hard a time with making this connection and the connections to what they're trying to tell you. Keep a journal or a small notebook handy just to write down downloads, thoughts, ideas that seem to randomly come in. Also, as far as talismans, crystals, feathers, rocks, coins, whatever the case may be mindful when you're out and about. I do feel like you could find something spiritually significant to you in your travels in the next couple of weeks that is going to help escalate your connection to the divine, to your team. Mainly finding out who your main spirit guide is, what their name is, what work they're trying to do, and what they're trying to get through to you, because it is very important that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, you really understand where they're trying to lead you. Good. All right, timestamps. We are going to do myths and mermaids for Miss Lotus Girl. Well, Skyly, we're ending in like 5 minutes anyway. So thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. I will be getting back to you after I check my email, which I normally don't do on weekends, but possibly Sunday. What's up, Latro? But, stay in the comments. I'll get in touch with you ASAP, Sunday or Monday. And yeah, thank you so much for all the support. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you coming in. It's really nice getting to finally talk to you. Joshua, it was so nice to meet you. Thank you. Go do you, girl. Miss Lotus Girl. You got the Water Elementals, card number 10. In the upright position. A group of 3 water nymphs lounge in a pond, deep in contemplation. There we go. Joined by their dolphin fish friend, they rest and ponder under a darkened sky among the reeds and water lilies. Divination message, all will become balanced. Lotus, lately you have had your shares of ups and downs. There have been many instances of confusion and times when you have felt pulled in several directions at once. External stressors have been wreaking havoc. Everything from unpredictable weather to unstable relationships can have a big impact on our emotional outlook. Fear not, my friend, for it won't be long before your life and body regain their natural sense of harmony and balance. You may need to reevaluate the aspects of your life that are giving you the most trouble and try setting some appropriate boundaries. If someone is taking too much of your time and energy, it's all right to limit their presence and influence. Looking Look to the near future and breathe a deep sigh of relief. Once again, you will feel calm, clear-headed, and motivated to live life to its fullest. Skyly, I would love that. Absolutely. I thought you had more than that. Yeah, I've got to check your channel out again. We'll talk. Lotus Girl, this is literally the same reading you get every week. And I'm going to be doing your May reading this coming week. So we'll dig more into it there. But I feel like somebody is still really taking too much. And I feel like you don't want to say anything because you feel maybe it's your job, your responsibility, your duty, or that to do this for them, to give them all of this, or you owe it to them. There's some strange dynamic here. When I feel like if you would just say, I don't have the energy, or I can't do that, or I don't want to do that, it would be okay. But it's like you don't want to say that because you're afraid that the person might take it wrong. In the next couple of weeks specifically, I feel like you really are going to have to say no to some people, to doing some things, to some responsibilities, maybe delegating, like I talked to someone about earlier, delegating responsibilities, because you're finally starting to achieve a balance in several areas of your life, if not your life in general. So continuing to take on way too much or take on excess or extra when you're just starting to become balanced again is going to put you right back where you were at the very beginning, which is not a good place to be. Oh, it's my son. I'm not sure I still have it, but I'm live streaming right now. Give me like 10 minutes. I'm almost done and I'll get right back to you. He wants my Netflix. I don't think I have Netflix anymore. I think I'm boycotting them for some reason. Lotus Girl, just remember, it's okay. Just because you're feeling a little better and things seem to be going a little better, like, don't overdo it thinking that, you know, it's all going to be okay. Casey? Full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. This card has two sides to it, literally and metaphorically. If you've been worrying about something, the good news is that you shouldn't waste another moment worrying because it won't help. Some things only happen once, and that can be really good news. If you're wondering about how something you're keen on is going to turn out, this card could be a sign that you might have hit a roadblock. If you want to change that, you're going to need to put in extra effort with your manifesting work. Manifesting balance, find a balance between facing your reality and be kind to yourself and others. If you're not happy with the message of this card, use the old trick of finding the best thought you can about your situation and going from there. Your manifestation affirmation, everything is always working out in my favor. Casey, I feel like in the next 2 weeks, things are going to be seeming like they're not going the best way. That things like something is like coming in as a disappointment. You know, you were really hoping for something, expecting something. You were putting a lot of effort and work, energy, time, etc. into something. And it seems like it's not working out. The universe is saying, if you just go with that, like this didn't work out, and start panicking, worrying, fretting, putting all of this extra emotional negative energy into it, it's definitely not going to work out. But if you can just look at it for what it is and be like, okay, it's not working out as I expected, but the universe always has my back and always works things in my favor, always does things for me, never to me, then it's going to all turn out for my highest good anyway. The universe can see your life and everything happening in it, and that will happen on an eternal level, and we can't do that as human beings. I would urge you in the next 2 weeks, Casey, not to panic, worry, or stress right away, or jump in to try like fixing things when it seems like something isn't going to work out as planned, because I feel like this is just a hiccup. It all still is going to work out. It's just going to happen in a different way than you expected, and it's going to take much longer. If you jump in trying to fix things, it's going to be seen as like meddling, and you could end up inadvertently stopping the very thing you were trying to make happen in the first place from happening. Alexander, and then I am done for the night, guys. This is for Alexander Yu. Card number 35, the card of vertigo. Whatever you choose will be correct. So luxurious is the problem of choice, and yet as you consider all the dizzying array of possibilities, a sensation of tilting, of things being off kilter, paralyzes you into inaction. What can you do? What should you do? Notice the keys stand straight and true. Each one opens a door leading to opportunities and lessons. Whatever you do now will be correct, but some lessons may be more enjoyable than others. In vertigo, there is pictured one key that is very ornate and decorative. You may feel compelled to grasp it and open its door. Surely the prettiest key would open the most auspicious door. Be aware, all is not what it seems, and while you cannot make a wrong decision, do not rush to make the obvious choice. The unexpected door will yield the most gratifying rewards and valuable lessons. Be brave and walk through the door less open. So Alex, in the next couple of weeks, you're going to have a major decision to make. And I feel like at the very last second, when you can't wait or procrastinate anymore, you're going to end up making a decision that you feel goes against everything you expected or planned. It's like the whole time you're like, I'm going to choose door number 2, and this is why, and I'm ready for it, I'm prepared for it, effort, energy, everything into door number 2. And then as soon as you get up there to open it, you look over and something just urges you to open door number 1 instead. This is acting completely on instinct and intuition, not planning. This is throwing caution to the wind and taking a chance, a risk for your betterment, knowing that if it works out, you're going to be so much better off for it in at least one area of your life. I feel like this is very uncharacteristic for you to just act on a whim in this way, but you're not really acting on a whim. I feel like you're following your instinct and intuition, and you're opening yourself up to the universe working in your favor and doing things for you instead of trying to micromanage and control everything and leaving things up to chance. If you listen to your instinct and intuition, then you know exactly that things are going to turn out for the best and better for you, no matter how negative things might seem in the moment. Take the road less traveled. Take the road that seems like it's going to be harder for you to reach your, your desired destination, because you're actually going to get there much quicker and you're going to be much happier for it. Don't listen to other people and what they have to say, their thoughts, opinions, ideas, their advice. You can hear it, but don't really take it on. At the end of the day, Alex, if you follow your instinct and intuition, which is just your spirit team speaking through your energy to you and guiding you, you are going to be so much better off than you'd originally planned. Guys, I am out of here. Please donate some money to my PayPal or Cash App and pay me for the work I do if you can. I need some money for the weekend. I've got like $8 to my name. So help a chick out if y'all can. I love you all. There will be no video Monday. Until I see the numbers on the pre-recordeds go up, I'm not going to be doing them for a while. And I might do them for members, but I just can't justify 20 to 30 hours a week on a video 50 people watch, nobody shares. I just can't do it anymore. And they only bring me in, I think, 23 cents per month. So less than $1 for all 4 of them. So I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm trying to work smarter, not harder. So thanks for joining me. Have a great week, everybody. Love you all.